any moment. Let's see. I'm gonna share this. Why is Facebook's acting weird? I can't do shit in any moment.
Is Facebook down?
Oh shit. Let's see.
Account temporarily unavailable due to a site issue. Oh no.
It's all good.
We're down. All right, we're gonna have to.
Who cares? Who gives a fuck about Facebook, right?
No, but we'll just.
Oh wait, no, I'm good. We're good. We're good. Check this out.
Oh, it came through.
Yeah.
What happened?
No, we're good. I'm sharing the link right now on Facebook as well.
Oh yeah. I hit share and it's like nothing's happening. Technology these days, they're getting better, but there's always that little nuance and always in the way, no matter how complicated it gets. So, I hope you have your popcorn ready, folks. I do.
Apparently. All right.
I do. Lorraine made me some popcorn.
Aw, isn't that sweet?
Just before she left.
Boom! Check this out. Look on Ustream. Look at the new overlay. Take it all in. Take it all in. It's clean. It's just refined. There's no bullshit. It's just Jones and Gangi.
Look at that sexy color too.
It's like candy.
I know.
Like,
it is.
It's like candy. I love it.
Oh my god, everyone's gonna be hearing me chew like an annoying asshole on this.
Yeah, what the fuck? Don't be a dick. So what's going on?
Not much. It's Friday. Time to party.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do tonight other than be a podcaster and Moloch?
Oh, I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I'll think about it when it comes. Going with the flow.
Holla.
Like I do mostly in life.
That's right. It's all about going with the flow. I've realized, like, when you plan a lot of crap, it never happens. Like, the more you plan, like, there's a difference between setting goals and then planning. When you plan, when you plan on something, it typically doesn't happen. I remember reading something about this where, like, if your brain gets the wavelength or the signal of like, hey, I'm gonna build a birdhouse, you won't end up building the birdhouse because for whatever reason your brain like shoots this signal to your brain going, you're going to it and you've done it, and it takes away from the satisfaction of actually completing it, and it actually produces someone being lazy. That's why a lot of people that don't talk about a lot of stuff that they do end up doing a lot. Like my uncle always had that. My uncle always said like, hey, don't talk about what you do, just do what you got to do. I
can attest the opposite though, but I mean, there's times where, like we talked about before, where like distractions gets in the way, and what kind of distractions happen there? It's just like these things that we manifest that we say that, you know, something else has to come into our world, like some other easy entertainment piece of value that we always kind of resort to. That's something that's very easy to just sit down and like absorb. Yeah. TV is a very, very good example of that, where you could always get absorbed into TV. It's so easy. Sit down and watch the most like amazing shit on a little TV box. It turns into an instant entertainment. What
do you think our parents would be like if they had like something like the iPhone, where they were able to watch their television shows anywhere they were in the world, like at any moment?
Well, it's like, you know how my mom's getting with technology, with a Facebook, and I taught her how to do that. Now she wants to do Twitter and all these other crazy social technologies. But the way it's kind of funny, like, you know how you ever get a parent, like, you have that one parent that sends you text messages, like a million emoticons in like one text message. Oh, well, yeah, my mom, like, I love you, Mom, but... that we went through, like, we grew up with emoticons? Everyone was doing that. Yeah. That was a cool thing to do. So it's almost like they're rediscovering what we discovered, like, years ago.
Let me ask you, do you use emoticons when you write emails to people in work? Do you use, like, smiley faces and shit?
Sometimes. Depends on, like...
who it is.
You know, I'm just trying to kind of kiss ass.
Do you think you'll get fired if you're like...
Oh, well, if I like send it to like the CEO.
Yeah, like the CEO, you're like, "Hey, good, thank you for doing this." Wink face, like, you know what I mean? Like, "Hey, that was really great. Thanks for letting me do such and such." Wink, wink. Like, do they think that's like sexual assault?
You know, it's really awkward. I've heard someone send an email that with a hashtag in it. It's like, that doesn't do anything, but
that's actually kind of funny.
Funny, like
that's actually really funny.
Holy shit. You try to be professional on your emails to like high-profile clients and all these things. It's because like, oh shit, I fixed it, YOLO, or something stupid.
Well, wait a second. Do you think maybe there'll come a time where like you can kind of hashtag an email so you can kind of find it faster?
Like a smart tagging system? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
if you think about it, it would kind of work, right? Because if you type, like, for instance, if you're on Mac, you
Mhm.
go to the top right in the search dialog. Excuse me, I'm burping because I'm drinking profusely. You go in the top right and search thing, and you type in the hashtag, whatever exactly it was, and you would find that exact hashtag. So technically it works, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, like in Google, like you have like labeling systems that they make it kind of easy like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have if people like if you are getting like mass amounts of spam per day, I
Yeah.
can save you a headache. Just there's two things I can show you. One is go to unroll.me in
I
the
know.
address
Yeah.
bar, not .com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I maybe sent you that
You
a
did.
while
You
ago.
did. You always
Yeah,
send me cool
it's
shit.
amazing. Yeah, so like my emails in the morning are like a handful, like
Yeah.
maybe 3 to 5 at most.
Right.
They used to be 10 to 15, and I thought that was a lot. And I'm very good at cutting shit out, like
Mm-hmm.
bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
And now I've cut it down to like a handful, which is great. So I
Right.
get like my courts like update, which is like an email update, and it shoots me like all the hot news and like tech gadgets and like my field pretty much.
Right.
So I basically get my quick news in about like 10 less than 10 minutes. Then I get my Unroll Me, which is like a combination of all like my deals, like my Groupon, my Ticketmaster, like stuff that I knew like I don't have to read every day, but I archive it in one email and it's grouped and I just like look at the one email and just scroll through for what I want. Like, oh, what were the Groupon deals today? Because I think I
Mm-hmm.
need to go look at them. Or if you're like in the mindset of trying to buy something or get a ticket, it's
Right.
easy just to go through that. And then otherwise every day I just archive it into a folder. I can just backtrack through time and be like, oh, let me go through the deals
You're
or
totally
the
good with that shit. You've always been that guy, like
organize like
yeah.
crazy or
You're
like
like my
OCD up.
you're my most OCD organized friend ever.
Yeah.
Like you really, but you're good with it. You're not
It's,
like
it always
annoying.
needs to be better. But I'm always
Mhm.
like, it needs to be better.
Yeah,
It
you
needs
like
be
to
better.
upgrade. You like to constantly become efficient. Like this whole
Yeah.
podcast thing became, dude. We sat down, and right before the very first episode, you and I sat down and did everything in like what 2 to 3 hours.
Dude.
We got the
Yeah,
name,
no,
the
I
.com,
think it
the
was longer than
design,
that, but
everything.
we still sat down for a long ass time and we nailed it like all out.
Yeah, it was.
Machine gunned out.
Yeah, it was
But
kind of
like,
fucking weird.
we were almost like thinking about like what our next steps were before we even said them. Like
Yeah.
I was like making social media, and then you were making a quick graphic, and then we were like, oh yeah, what were we gonna do? Yeah, we're already
Yeah.
gonna,
Oh wait,
yeah.
Twitter. Okay, I already got that. Well, I got the graphic for Twitter already.
We're set up.
Here's the Twitter
Yeah,
graphic.
exactly.
Da, 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 da.
It was amazing. So
Yeah.
it's like that.
It's important, man, to be
Yeah.
like that, to think ahead rather than just go, all right, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got to get on all the social networks. Like, just, it's good to know what the fuck you're doing. And I think the only reason why we know what we're doing, well, let's be honest, we don't know what the hell we're doing with this podcast thing, but whatever, it's fun. But I think what's important is that we read blogs. We're like always on blogs. We're always looking at like the latest apps. We're looking at the latest fucking,
Oh, like the amount of content we get through a day, like
yeah.
it's too much. Little like it makes my brain melt by the end of the day. It makes me happy. Like I love doing it.
Yeah.
Like, every day I just love going through all the new shit. And
Yeah.
If you haven't been reading like at least science and technology and gadgets lately, science has been exploding out the freaking ass. Like there's like every day there's like some incredible breakthrough that like something that we imagined back in the growing up. Like
That's
future
true.
technology
That's
just,
actually
like,
true.
insane.
Everything we're imagining or we imagined as a kid is
Is
happening.
really, like and then some. Like
Yeah.
even more, which
Yeah.
is crazy too.
It is kind of freaking crazy. Think about this, right? We're in our 20s, and we now have a live feed of Earth from space.
Yeah.
At any moment, you can go on a fucking website and look at Earth right above, live from space. Like, dude,
Just to
when
let
you
you
were a
know-
kid, you would
Yeah.
dream about that stuff, you
You
know?
and I are in two different states right now, speaking 1,000 miles apart. It's like
Yeah, instantaneously.
no big
And,
deal.
oh, by the way, we're streaming
NBD.
to the entire Earth.
Yeah.
Live.
Everyone can see and hear this.
Yeah.
It's actually like kind of cool because who knows how long this will last, because if you've ever read up on net neutrality and how crazy
Yeah.
that will get, I don't
Yeah.
know how insane these ISPs will go. I don't know.
Well,
like,
I
what
have
they'll
I have a
do.
theory on that. really, I think what's happening, like, you know, like all these horrible things happening to like people like killing kids and gun control stuff. I
Well,
think
yeah.
I think all of like net neutrality, I think is a thing that are the people that are running this country or this earth rather. I think they're putting things in place to force innovation, to force people to think outside the box, and to push past them allowing us to put the hammer down and to build things and to come together to say no, fuck you, that's not happening. The internet's free. Go piss off, man. Like, I feel like they're doing it on purpose to rally everybody up, to make really appreciate what's going on here. You know, we have a free network of information. We get anything we want at any time. We do whatever we want at any time. Like, that's has to keep continuing.
Yeah, and to me, I see it as another control thing, and a lot of people always argue that, and it is. It's just power control. Like, power control is just above all. Like, people really underestimate that as a negative skill that people have over other people.
Right.
Because you could walk into a room. You may not be that smart, but you could own the room socially if you were well adept enough in that field. Like, to go in and actually, like, my mom's very good at that.
Are you saying she's not smart?
Yeah,
she's gonna listen to this. You know she is.
But she can go in and she can walk up to the president of the United States, shake his hand, get his number the next day. She would have no blocks there. She'd go in and just own that whole.
Was it because she's Italian and she's just like, hey, forget about over here. Let's talk about some business over here.
Not that.
No.
She's not Italian.
I thought she was Italian.
Dad's side is the Italian side.
I'm an idiot. Sorry, I apologize. No. What's her side?
English, German, and like I think some Scottish, whatever other white mixes in there.
Okay, so Braveheart, Nazi, and
basically the Brits
and the Crusades. So she's got some good DNA going on. Well, I'm not saying the Nazis are good. Fuck those people. But you know what I mean, Germany and all that craziness, the oneness of that. This has got awkward really quick.
Race war.
Race war. Jesus Christ. No, but when you were talking about the mail, you know, you were talking about your mail and organization and all that crap. Remember when, like, it was like last year, remember that mail app that everyone was waiting in line for?
Oh yeah.
Remember that to like get your
get a reserved spot?
Yeah. That became a
this. I'm going like, wait a minute.
That seemed weird because people were like waiting patiently as if it was like something really exclusive and elite.
Yeah.
Look at everyone right now. Who the fuck uses that app? No one.
I'm like, okay, you could go wait for this thing while I continue to use my mail app, which serves all its purpose. Like, I can, the thing is, they were trying to extend the mail app to be easily used for people that don't understand filters, that don't understand setting up multiple accounts. People are at that level. You know, it's okay. It's just is what it is. People are trying to get to that market. But it was weird how they did it.
It was really
launched
weird.
It like a normal product. What are you trying to do with this like little scheme here with trying to keep it all secret and like a secret product?
I think it was a gimmick. I think it was a social experiment just to see if people are patient enough. Because I was like, I think 100,000th in line or some shit. And like I waited.
And it took like forever, like the number counter going down.
Yeah, you would always check it. It was like in between your Twitter and Instagram feed. You're like, oh, okay, what's on my Instagram? Okay, wait, what number am I in line? Let me see that. And like you would go and look at it, and it's like you've gained like 3 spots. Like, oh god, you know, like it was so stupid.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I have one good app to share with actually everybody, and actually everyone can appreciate this, especially all students and people out of college.
What is it?
It's an app called Manila. Have you heard about that?
Manila? No, but I know of Manila folder. Ooh, nice logo.
Oh yeah, I like it. Basically, this app is a digital filing cabinet. I let it scan my email, and it literally found every single account I have to pay bills to. Every single one. That includes my student loans, my credit card, my Macy's account, my PayPal, my Sally Mae, my TD bank account, Netflix, JetBlue, everything.
How does it
All
find that
in one.
information?
Well, here's the thing. So it was a
Give
little
us your
difficult
social
to set up
security
at
number.
first. Yeah. Please understand.
Please understand.
Please understand.
What's up, Nintendo?
You let this thing scan it,
Fucking up.
and it'll have to verify who you are. Like I think Gmail or some account actually was saying like, oh, this is someone was trying to access your account through a third party.
Right.
But I mean, I allowed them to port through it. So now, all with a touch of button in one place, I can pay off I can see how much how much debt I have left in like one easy view. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't have to show. You
I'm
don't
not
have
gonna
to,
show anything.
don't show
No,
me
no,
your personal shit.
Not a good idea.
We all know how deep we are in debt. Thanks,
But yeah,
DMAC.
right.
Thanks, DMAC.
Yeah.
Thanks
that's cool.
for
How about any school for
education.
How about any school for that matter? Because they're all overpriced.
Yeah, you know what? I have to take that back. I enjoyed our time at DMAC. That was a good.
Yeah,
that was a good spot.
You're gonna bitch anyway, no matter what school you went to. Coming
It's
out
not
at
bitching.
Like,
it's
you're
justified
like,
complaining.
That motherfucker Sally Mae.
Yeah, no.
Everybody, dude.
Yeah.
Just like everyone can relate and hate Sally Mae.
Yeah, my dad and I hate Sally Mae because it's like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Like, hey, not to cut you off, but like, can we maybe think about this for a second and go, hey, listen, hey Sally Mae, how you doing? So I'm gonna be paying this back for the rest of my life, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So maybe could I kind of sign up for the life plan? What do you mean? What's that? Oh, I don't know. Just pay a low fee for the rest of my life instead of drilling me for $400 fucking dollars, please? Like, can we just do this? Because you're gonna get your damn money, bitch. But can we maybe just work something out so that I'm with you for the rest of my life and I'm only paying like $100? Okay, I'll take, you know what I mean? Like, let's do that. Like, why do they have to drill you for $400 freaking dollars? Like, that's an example. That's actually my example because that's what I pay. But why drill you that hard for like every month? You know what I mean? When you're gonna already pay it off for the rest of your life anyway.
Well, let's put it in their. I'm gonna put it in their point of view.
Oh,
so
you
we
give me
got,
that
like,
point of
two,
view.
The
Give me
black
that
and white
POV.
right now. So in their view, they've already calculated based on your credit history, how much money you make, how much your parents make, all of those little statistics in there that mesh together, and they run through their own little algorithm to determine how fast and how efficient you can pay off that loan in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
I didn't
lot
have
of
any
money.
credit. Not to interrupt, but I didn't
Oh.
have any credit at the time. Remember, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's like
no.
I just got out of college and I'm like,
Oh boy, I'm gonna get out
Yeah.
there in the working
Wait,
world and everything's
Your
gonna be
dad had
great.
your dad had to co-sign something, right?
you're right, actually.
Yep. So they do his credit check on him.
Damn,
Your
dog.
credit, like a lot of people don't
Damn.
get this because they're so scared of credit cards. I'm like, okay, here's the
They're
almost
scared.
like explain like I'm five explanation on this. Okay, your credit history is like your lifeline in like a Monopoly game. It's almost like how much are you liable,
Mm-hmm.
and how much can I give you free shit when you
Mhm.
don't even have much money? It's
Mhm.
really almost on that basis, pretty much what it is. Or
Right.
how much leeway can you get away with? Because like even for me getting this place, I needed good credit.
Yeah.
You know, they check against that. If I didn't have good credit, I wasn't even on the top of the list. Like other people were looking at this house before me, and the owner was just denying them based on, well, one, their own personality and how they kind of acted,
Yeah.
but some
Yo,
just
dog, I'm
based
a
on,
DJ. I just
but
want
just
this house.
based on
nigga.
credit history,
Yeah.
because they know they're like, okay, this kid ain't paying shit. He
Yeah.
ain't liable to understand and be responsible for his own debts and such.
Right.
It's just the whole system and how it works. Now it sucks because I don't like. I mean, I mean, I know how it works, and I know how to make it work in my benefit. So, because
Yeah.
like right now, I have great credit history because I make the payments, make those, and those count. It's like brownie points.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
every
yeah.
day you get like a little star.
I
if
suck
you
at that
make your
shit, but I
payments.
totally get it. Yeah.
But a lot
I mean,
of people don't make their payments, and that's
Yeah,
why a
'cause
lot of people
it's-
don't have great credit.
exactly. It all comes down to laziness. I'm going to tell you right now. Every single person listening right
Or
now, if you
apathy
have
towards
or
paying
apathy,
dollars,
yeah, like it
People don't like
literally.
doing it.
The root really though is laziness. Like I was lazy. Like I admit it. Like that's just the facts of life. Like you're like, man, fuck those fucking bitches, and they're not gonna take my money, motherfuckers. And it's like you just, you know, and it's like I'll just pay them next time, whatever. But like after a while, it catches up and everything goes to hell. But anyway, I'm out of that, thank God. The thing though, like it makes sense. Like, someone's going to sell you a freaking house because you have good credit. You want that person that has good credit. It makes sense. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when we were talking about augmented reality, where everyone has their own Yelp score, where it's like, you know that person's not a douchebag. He has 9,200 friends, and the guy does something cool, and you're like, I wanna be friends with that guy because he seems to be really nice. And sure enough, he is. And you don't have to worry about him. You know what I mean? But, oh my God, I just thought of, sorry, random idea. You know me. When augmented reality is huge, I just thought of an app for like girlfriends or ex-girlfriends. Ready? The Cheater app, where girls can rate guys to go like, that guy's a fucking cheater, and like he has a horrible rating, and girls know. Ooh. Think about that for a second. That would be crazy. You're like, everyone has Google Glasses, and like she's like scanning the guy. She's like, hold on one second. I'm gonna check your X rating. Beep 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 beep. Fuck you. You've cheated like 4 times, and you're not even that good in bed. Piss off. And like, that's gonna fucking be real, dude. That's gonna come, man.
Yeah, because that's the era of where we're moving into, where there's no privacy. Facebook just did this now. Actually, one of my friends, Johan, just posted a thread.
Johan? I love that name.
Johan, yeah. It is a good name.
He's going to be a guest on this podcast soon.
He could, yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he posted, like, Facebook is now doing, like, this tag-based system to, like, tag a person's name to, like, I guess just a whatever you want to create. Just like something you can tag, like what you're saying, with Yelp. Just like a review on somebody.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Like explain.
Like, I could tag you best friend. I'll type best friend, and you'll come up. You'll come up an array of all my best friends.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm all your best friends. Yeah, there's like so many.
Okay, you'll be in the bestest friend category.
Oh my God! Thank you. You're so nice. That's cool, dude. That's actually really fucking cool, man. But, well, it's also scary.
Well, that's how they sell it, right?
Cheating prick. Like, that's what I'm gonna name like sex.
Yeah.
Cheating bitch. Like,
oh, these cheating bitches over here.
Yeah. There's 92 cheating bitches.
The players of like who play girls on Facebook will have like categories of different girls. Like,
holy crap.
Okay, this girl's a clinger. Here are my clinger class 10.
Klingon. It's a Klingon. Dude, that's actually, that's kind of weird, right? We're almost like, we're labeling, I don't like that. We're labeling our species.
Yeah, we talked about labels before.
Yeah, we have.
This is where shit's gonna get nuts.
Ew.
This is how are we gonna play with labels?
I don't like it. Everyone's gonna have their own tag.
Ridiculous degree.
You know what, man? It's almost like we're doing the work for them. Really, that's kind of what it is, right? Like we're
building shit that does this shit. I am working for them. I can see it directly. You know, there's not like.
Yeah.
I'm working for a paycheck like everybody else.
Yeah.
I gotta pay bills.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wanted to,
for now,
you know, if I wanted to revolt, it's like, I don't know. It's not easy.
No, it's not. It's really.
What are you gonna revolt against? How are you gonna do it? It's all. It has to be calculated.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, man. I just don't like the fact that like life is turning into a role-playing game. Like, everyone's going to have stats. Everyone's going to have a level.
Like an MMO.
It's like a fucking MMO. It really is. And for people that don't know what an MMO means, it means Massive Multiplayer Online RPG. Yeah. And it's basically a game where thousands of people play on the same server together, and it's a virtual world where you exist amongst others in real time, and you do things with other people in real time within the game. And that's kind of where, believe it or not, Twitter, Facebook, the Oculus Rift and everything are headed. They're headed to the land of virtual reality. I heard on another podcast that they were talking about how people with like, let's say the Oculus Rift, right? People will be able to work with each other in a virtual office.
Yeah.
And do things like you can have Photoshop loaded up in the Oculus Rift on a virtual computer in the cloud, making something, and you turn your head and you look at Tom, who's actually virtually there on his Oculus Rift in freaking North Dakota, and then he's fucking with Sally, and she's in Maryland on the other opposite side of the earth or the country, and she's in the virtual office, and it's like an MMO game, but it's actually a fucking agency, and you're sending off emails in this virtual space. you won't need a building anymore. You'll need just this virtual environment, which is really, 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 really crazy if you think about that, dude.
Yeah, and
Holy
it's
crap.
getting to I think there was a company I linked it before during work. I think went to someone, but augmented reality glasses. I mean, they have them just as themselves. So
that's where
like we
Microsoft's
talked
headed.
about.
That's their next thing after Xbox One, which it's not after Xbox One. Like, they're not going to kill off Xbox One, but that's their next product, is to bring in augmented reality glasses that are fashionable and accessory to real life, so you can play your games in real life. And
well, think about like what they have with the Kinect. That's a perfect pair, right? Because right now you're like, okay, so every move you make that the Kinect records is like, it's in a three-dimensional space that's in the game is reflected the same as you do in reality.
Right.
But you making all these silly moves in three-dimensional space in a living room seems kind of boring. It's a little out of place still. With the augmented reality glasses, we can put on the augmented reality and now shape our living room to the environment that we're reacting in that Kinect sees.
Ooh,
so you don't
God,
even need any
crazy.
sensors on your wrists. You don't need the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
It'll actually capture that and then display it via the headset.
Yeah. Fuck.
And they were already trying to figure out ways to manipulate the environment in the living room to make it more immersive in the game.
The Illuminati.
Like
where it's like the lights or whatever, the Illuminati, aka the Illuminati, where it sees everything in your where it shows, for the people listening, we were making diamonds above our heads with our third eye. Actually, I have a third eye. Ta-da!
Owl.
Yeah. But that's where it's headed. It's like when one of our friends talks about how the consoles are dying, he's kind of right, because it's headed to that world of mobility and taking our third dimension physical world and turning it into a virtual reality where everything's working together, and that's when shit gets really fucking addicting and crazy.
Oh my god, dude, that's insane. We're exploring other dimensions of craziness through virtual space.
Yeah.
Virtual space dimensions.
One thing that freaks me out is like when you have the Rift on, you're gonna have to lock your door because someone could just walk in on you and you won't even know. Dude. That's creepy.
Well, not even just like the Oculus Rift. Just imagine couple of generations ahead of that, where you're immersed in a machine, like a surrogate.
Ugh.
You have no control of whatever is happening in your physical body if you're like really connected into another being or whatever surrogate body that you have.
Wasn't that the Matrix?
Yeah, because they'll in digital space, right? So they'll be injected into the digital self, not like an avatar, not like a real physical
No. Yeah, I'm literally
meant
because like the Matrix wasn't a physical body; it was in another world. It was software, wasn't it?
Yeah, but you had to be injected via just like I mean, it's yes and no, because you're in in the Matrix, you were in a fake digital world, right?
Right. That's the Rift.
In comparison to Avatar. If you
I didn't even bring up. Sorry, I'm not even bringing up Avatar. I'm not even talking about that because that's crazy.
Willis movie. But no, that's the same deal.
It is true. You're right with the
different
with the
reality,
body,
but you're reacting and doing stuff in physical space.
Yeah.
Still.
You know what's funny is that we're talking about this, and like we had this conversation in our chat room or whatever earlier, what I wanted to talk about like with this was, or bring up, is like how people, they say like, yeah, I dreamt about this, and it was just a dream. It was just a dream. But then like you bring up the whole reality thing, and then they go, well, it's not reality. It's like, why is it not reality? And they go, well, because it's not real. It's like, well, why is it not real? Well, because you can't touch it. It's like, well, what does that mean? Why do you have to touch something for it to be real? Well, because of atoms. It's like, all right, listen, you realize everything in your life around you, this bottle, right? This computer, this microphone, this right here, everything came from the imagination. Nothing just came out of nowhere. Someone had to think about it and make it, right? That is reality. Just because you're dreaming doesn't mean shit. That is another plane to... Well, actually, it's funny. A coworker, she was saying how she thinks that when she goes to sleep, she envisions dreaming as like your soul, ascending into a chat room in the sky, and you just do and say whatever the fuck it is that you want, because there's no limits to the boundaries of the physical reality that you currently live in.
Yep.
And people have a hard time grasping that because it's not secure. It doesn't feel safe. You're like, oh God, I don't know about that. That seems a little too crazy. It's like, no, come on, man. It's actually not that crazy, really.
It's not, because like we can talk about quantum physics and how a multiverse works, right?
Right.
It's almost like, like alternate universes.
Yeah.
Infinite possibilities within many different timelines existing in a stream of oneness.
Right.
In oneness, though, we are existing like one out of infinite amount of different timelines and realities.
Right.
So, in essence, what you could be experiencing within the dream state, or like even when you feel like, remember when you get those deja vu moments?
I was just, dude, you were just reading my mind because I was about to mention deja fucking vu.
I know, right? You're thinking about that, and like,
yeah.
Or you meet someone that you've like
you go like, I
met you
person
before. Yeah,
I've seen that person before.
Yeah, you had that connection before.
Yeah.
Or or even in being in a certain location. Like you go like, I've been here before.
That happened to me in the church, and I got laughed at by my boss. My boss looked at me in front of the client and went like, "What the fuck? What?" I'm like, "No, I'm looking up and I'm seeing this citadel, like this made out of wood. It looked crazy, right? It was like this dome, and I'm like, I was looking up and I'm like, I feel like I've been here before. Like this feels comforting. Like I've seen this before. I've been here before." And my boss looks at me and goes, "You're crazy." I go, whatever. Like, it's whatever, man.
Have you heard of the many worlds interpretation theory of quantum mechanics?
No. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Continue, please.
So in a nutshell, it says that since a wave function, basically a wave function is basically, let's say we're both here, right?
Oh, we're both here.
We're both here in virtual space, which is interesting.
That's actually kind
of...
And
behind me is a door.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay, right. Now, in the unobservable universe, there could be an infinite amounts of possibilities happening behind that door. But since we haven't observed it, we don't know what defined reality may come out of it. So... I know, right? Now you're going to look around, you're like, what's going to happen?
Damn it! I looked around behind me and I was looking at the door.
Anderson at age 25 walking through the door.
Son of a bitch. That's so weird to think about.
Well, I mean, it's a theory, but it came from just studying particle physics and understanding how certain strings and realities could all happen at once. And Stephen Hawking even agrees with this. So what is a wave function? Let me explain what the wave of...
this is still within quantum physics.
So the role of an observer has been it's been in strong contention. There's different theories around it.
Right. Like
for what I've just stated.
Yeah.
So it just basically says that a wave function is... how do I say this? Kind of contains, well, just like I said, basically it contains a possible outcome of every event. And some people have said that collapses can distill from an actual outcome once it's observed. The collapse being the reality formulating into existence. But the other way is that the wave function never collapses, and that afterwards you'd see basically a new branch, a new fork, because there could be infinite new possibilities out of that next fork. It's like basically the wave function doesn't just collapse and end, it keeps going, and you have more, like it's always constant, right? So as soon as the door opens and that next reality is observed, now the reality is shifted onto its world line compared to the other parallel worlds and parallel lines, and continues to make those changes based on any other infinite reactions or changes that happen. So
if you could look at my brain right now, it'd be melting. I'm trying to follow, and I'm having a hard time following.
So let's say in one reality, Lorraine walks through that door, my fiance.
Yeah.
And in this one reality, that would be considered a wave collapse. That was one reality of something happening behind
When you
that
say
door.
collapse, it means it's compiled and happened.
Compiled happened, and
Okay,
then that's
got
it.
it. Okay,
And then that's
got
it.
it.
That defined reality. That was a
Right.
kind of an old concept because, well, why would it just stop there? Why am I just saying the unobserved is really that's it? You know, that's
Mm-hmm.
like saying like, well, what's in a safe? Um, you know, and
Yeah.
something like a third party could have put something in there.
Right.
Or actually, not even that. It would have to be. I mean, yeah.
Well, it would be a third party if it
reality.
was like a shitty show like Storage Wars.
Between you and I, because we don't know what's in there. I think a
Yeah.
lot of crazy magicians figured this crazy shit out because there was
This
one
sounds
that
like something that they would do, right?
right, yeah. Well, I mean, they'd have to like understand like insane quantum physics or like I don't know. It's all for show, or they usually it helps them a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
with odds, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can have some guys that they'll put it like they'll tell someone to take a dollar bill out of their pocket and then
Right.
throw it in a safe. No one's actually observed the serial number on the dollar bill. It was just out of chance and random, and then he would be able to will the number into existence. That would be like the theory of actually then defining reality within the quantum physics world. So maybe it's not so random after all. Maybe we can actually guide the reality where we want to go. The
Well,
guide the line.
that goes along the lines of positive thinking and all that nonsense that people talk about, where it's like the more you feel,
And that's like the wave, right? It's not like a
yeah,
sudden instant boom. We
yeah,
ride a wave of positivity. We keep going. That's why a lot of people get deterred when, or you know, turned away from ever thinking like that, or not even really thinking about in that sense, because when they keep thinking negatively, they either get caught in a stream of that,
and it
then
keeps happening,
and then
right? Like
they're a
it keeps
negative
keeps
wave.
going negative, negative,
Yeah,
negative.
you're a
Yeah, yeah,
negative
yeah.
wave, and then you're gonna, and it falls into maybe you just hit a rock bottom state, and that's an interesting thing to observe when someone or something happens like that, because then what happens is like usually you go to the opposite direction and you see a positive change. You start seeing like the opposite
Oh,
things
usually
happening,
when
and then
you're
they
right.
follow a different wave path, and then they're on a different world line.
And they do something great, because normally someone that is trapped in the worst possible situation, either zero money or just lost someone or just down on their luck, and they're at the rock bottom, that pushes them and motivates them to just turn into something amazing and become like unstoppable. That's funny you say that, because a lot of people, I have friends that, you know, had problems with their vehicle or got into an argument with somebody, and it just kept happening over and over and over. And every time they talk about it with me, you know, I'm not By the way, I'm not judging any of my friends. Whenever whoever's listening to this, if you're one of my homies, you talk to me. I'm not fucking judging you. I'm listening to you because I like to listen, right? So anyway, that was a disclaimer. Anyway, people that, because someone might be like, fucking this asshole's just using all my complaints as fuel so he can talk on his podcast.
Well,
Like, no, it's not about that.
You know what? And then
But-
if you want to take this further, like spiritually,
Yeah.
in the way of understanding that, like if you were to really grasp this concept, and that's hard for some people, because how do I understand every reality that could have happened or not?
Right.
I think this way, and it's awkward because a lot of people do this, a lot of artists, and I'll explain that later, how that can tie into where artists get their fuel from, like how they mine a fossil. It's as easy as that for you to will in a drawing into existence. But basically, I mean, you have done or will do everything you could ever conceive of, positive or negative. You could be the worst murderer in the world. You could be the guy that has put so much effort and you know, cold sweat and tears, everything into the world, and basically developed world peace.
Right.
You know? Every one of those timelines exists,
Right.
from every scale, as high as low as you can get.
I feel like.
So when
Oh,
you
shit.
so when you judge a person based on these actions, you know,
Yeah.
this is a learning experience here. If we can actually even consider or fathom living through all these different realities, and this is where you can get nutty with meditation, which I'll actually explain eventually. I want to kind of maybe even talk to people about just like the basic yoga and practices of like the Tibetan yoga that I've been doing, which is a simple, easy to do yoga, which incorporates Kundalini and pranayama, and pranayama being different breathing exercises that's mixed with Kundalini yoga, which basically is a glandular working system. So it works your pineal gland especially, which is in your third eye. That's existing in almost literally the dead center of your brain. Works the thyroids and other glands through. It really works your heart. Oh my God. Like when you do these certain type of breathings, like you freaking like, holy shit, like almost like you ran a marathon and you didn't do anything. You just sat while you're sitting there or laying down. But yeah, it's just think of it like this. So like, I mean, the difference between different versions are really staggering and they vast in your imagination. So the reality of their existence forces us to examine human nature a little bit differently. Now, you would never, like, say you were the murderer, right? Now, you would never really kill anybody, in real life, like on your world line, right? But, I mean, have you ever thought about it?
Me personally?
Yeah, no. I mean, just be honest with yourself. It must have come in your thought process, like,
wait,
once.
What do you mean? Like, have I thought about killing someone?
The reality of, like, taking a person's life.
And you want to know? Actually, that
came. Say the opposite. Too.
Well,
like,
I have
saving a life. Yeah.
I actually have a story, a short story. I did after I thought of not killing, but I thought of the experience of being part of it when a friend shared with me. Oh God, it's fucking haunting. When a friend shared with me a recent video that was the audio recording of this Canadian guy who shot 2 intruders into his house. It was a boyfriend and girlfriend couple that were trying to break into this guy's house. This guy was an ex-Vietnam vet who was a little crazy.
Yeah. And
before he did what he did, he was recording it so that he would have proof to show the cops that they were intruding and breaking into his house. Because here's the thing, I don't understand how he knew that they were going to come, but you can hear the glass breaking and everything, right? So they busted into a window, and you hear him shooting. The guy drops onto the ground, onto the stairs, going, oh God, like that, and he's whispering. He goes, so you're dying now. You're very calmly. He goes, you're dying now. Pop, 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 and unloads on it, and you hear, and you hear that, and then all of a sudden you hear the girl. Oh my gosh, it's so bad. You hear the fucking girlfriend walking down the stairs, and he goes, blah, 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 blah. She falls to the ground. You hear the stumbling, and you hear, no, please, I'm sorry. He goes, you're dying now, bitch, and he kills her, and you hear blah, 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 and then she dies, and that's it. And he goes, okay, I feel a little safer now. Okay. And then I stopped listening after that, and there was like 15 more minutes of it. It was so fucking creepy to hear a human being's life disappear from this reality like that. And like a real, not a movie, not a video game, but real. It was, and for her to I'm disturbed still from it. Yeah. It's fucking creepy, but that's why I was thinking about murder and how it takes a certain type of person that is disconnected from whatever we live in to do that and never think about it ever again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What I was trying to get at. Yeah. Well, it doesn't. I'm trying to explain is though with any type of thought, there's a world line where you did that. So in let's say a thought where, but here's where it'll get balanced. I'll explain. Because it's not a bad thing.
I'm ready to talk about corgis
that's the crazy
French
thing.
bulldogs.
People will be like, how could you say that? Thinking of killing people is not a bad thing. Well, I'll explain. So, conversely, there's another line where you're tireless. So let me just try to get back to where I was. Okay, so basically, yeah, you could have the worst timeline basically in existence, or let's say you brought against the world peace. You brought basically happiness to the world. You brought nirvana to people's hearts.
Right.
Maybe you had a band in high school or whatever. You get the point. So I think this could explain a lot of strong feelings of deja vu, like basically the feelings of connecting with someone and so forth, right? So it's just these instances of people acting strongly out of character. For all as we may have some degree of resonance with other world lines or versions of themselves, which can bring about the knowledge of what we're trying to achieve. So like in our cases, our wave is extremely positive, I feel, at this point, or has increased so over since we met each other. Like we've been doing
Yeah.
great art, we've been helping people, we've been building cool things, we share a lot of crazy stuff. We love to, you know, laugh, share awesome ideas, everything in that regard.
Right.
So with our world lines near us, you know, we have different spectrums. So in like, let's say in your case, you love to pursue music and art, and like you're kind of torn on where to go in world line wise.
Yeah.
So it's like we always talk about that.
Right,
So
right, right.
literally in one reality, like in your stream, like you have a really good stream right now. Like your stream is, you can branch off into one world line to become a music label, like have a music label and become a famous musician.
Right.
Up to that line. That's like one of your lines. Another one is becoming a very famous illustrator.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're already on track of that as well.
Right.
And like say in my case, I'm on a path where I could be developing new technologies for interfaces within Oculus Rift, augmented reality, web technologies. I mean, I'm already doing web development, but branching off into other different technologies altogether is a huge subject.
Right,
And
right.
and that's like it's almost just like an umbrella. I always like to look for the umbrella because there's so much to play with. That's why I always feel like I'm a balanced person, because I love to see those type of openings, because there's so many more different world lines you can enter into. Think about that.
You're like a surfer in a way. Like you like to find the wave and just go
Find the
with
wave
it,
and like
then
let's-
find the
where's this
next
gonna
one. It
lead?
keeps
Yeah.
it going. It keeps
Maybe
it going.
refine it, right?
Yeah.
And just refine it down to somewhere I like.
That's totally you. I'm like the fuckface making the surfboards, where I just like to make the surfboards
But
and
that's
then
okay.
I give it to you.
But, yeah,
Yeah.
there's
No,
no
it's totally,
problem, because
yeah. You need that type of
found your-
person.
That's where different resonances come in, right?
Yeah.
Because like we
Yeah.
resonate together really well, because I'm so open. You have a defined view too at times.
Yeah.
And both opposite. I mean, I have my own defined lines of stuff.
Right.
You know, in Hinduism, along with some other religious and philosophical like thought schools, they teach the concept of reincarnation. You know, we're no different from anyone else.
Right.
And this reincarnation is like basically saying that we as humans manifest physically on this earth multiple times, and then we can learn from our past and future lives. Well, and such, like learning is a fact of like a purpose of our existence.
Right.
So that belief system can be used as like an early understanding of the multiverse.
Right.
Think about that. That was like an early concept of like where people like, I mean, Hindus, and like I'm once I go over like when you study like this Tibetan yoga like I did, and different Kundalini and stuff, like a lot of these guys would self-trip in different trance states naturally, not without the aid of psychedelics, to get to those states, to understand and teach people what this is, this connectivity that
Yeah.
you can pull from.
Yeah.
And like one you know, you can be comforted, like even with the assertion I made before about being a mass murderer or thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It can be comforting to know that every experience of like all facets of human nature is just an explicit part of our growth. However else are we going to ever move past this physical reality if we've never experienced the two teeter-totters of the seesaw? You have to encompass the full
That's true.
spectrum
Yeah.
before we ever move up.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works. And you know, people, and then you just have a huge conflict now on Earth. You know, you have this been going on for so long: wars, people killing each other over ideas, simply just
Yeah.
over who.
My
believes
book's
of what.
better than your book. Go fuck yourself. It's
Exactly.
like, dude, oh my God.
I'm like,
Come
holy
on,
crap!
man.
You know,
Yeah.
this is getting out of hand.
Yeah. Yeah, we're killing each other over words
Yeah.
and thoughts. Ugh. It's not good. You always you for some reason like you caught on to the quantum thing really quick. I remember in college you kind of indoctrined me into that. Is that a word? Probably not.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough.
It's Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday. Fuck it, whatever. You got me into it pretty deep, and it's funny that it just clicked, and even though a lot of it hurts my brain, and there's always that running, hack joke of, it's the quantum is like stuff that doesn't even make any sense, and no one really understands it, but they pretend to. You kind of, you know what it is?
Or you listen to a Deepak Chopra quotes, like I have him on Twitter.
And you want to
every quote's like, in the quantum world, we have to see to believe.
Oh my God.
I love you, Deepak, but come on.
Yeah, dude. I think the trick to the whole quantum thing is people want to read it, right, as if it were just, biology, and they just read it and get the information from it. I think what the key to quantum, to understand the quantum level of physics, is also utilizing your imagination and your inner self that can visualize things. I think when you're able to visualize the quantum world, it actually makes way more sense than just reading wait, what did I just read? Are you kidding me? You have to visualize it, and it starts to come together. And I think creative people like you and I understand it a little bit better and faster than the average person trying to go, well, you trying to tell me that there's 2 levels to this earth? Really? Well, when I go underground, it's very hot. I don't understand. Why is there a second level? Yeah, it's heat. What do you mean there's another level to earth? It's you know what I mean? You have to kind of think past it, and not think about, you were talking about the deja vu thing.
Yeah.
I always think about deja vu as if, what if deja vu are moments of where you died and you come back into this reality because you're not done yet and you keep going? And what if death is one big deja vu where you pop back into existence and you're sick? Because let's think about it. When you're really young, what's the youngest you remember yourself as? 2, 3, 4 years old? All of a sudden it's almost like your consciousness is booting up from age 0 to 3 or 4, and your consciousness is booting up like a computer, and all of a sudden, ding, and the welcome screen comes on. Welcome to Earth, and you log in with your name and your last name, and then you're back, and then you just do it all over again. And sometimes kids are gifted. Sometimes kids are amazing musicians, and then some are amazing speakers, and some are just helpful, or some are just don't know anything and go through a hard life.
So to go off that, then, so if all these realities exist at once, so maybe all of this may have happened before, and may happen again and again and again, and maybe in a continuous cycle. So if reality is a continuous cycle, along the lines of Big Bang, explosion, contraction, collapse, Big Bang again, where it's cycling like a breath.
Yeah.
A freaking the infinity sign. It's gonna actually it's that point where it meets the middle, where that overlaps at that point.
Right.
Where is the switch is initiated. So what they would call the collapse, or not the collapse phase, but the continuous cycle of reignition.
Some people have a hard time believing that it, for instance, if you think about the galaxy where it's expanding, and then by laws of physics it has to contract. You know what I mean? Laws of the universe. People actually they have a hard time believing the expansion and the contraction. The contraction, they have a hard time believing that. And to be honest, I think about it, I'm like, why do you have a hard time believing that when right now we're expanding? Why couldn't it do the opposite? You know what I mean? When it reaches a certain point of just resistance. Well, then again, actually, maybe they're onto something, because why would there be resistance?
I think this goes along the lines of, understanding deja vu at a level where, how, psychics will do this, too? They'll actually pick out realities or something. Or it could be con people. But I'm just saying,
a lot of leading questions and shit.
Yeah. But, I mean, if deja vu seems meaningless and random, and the premonition turns out to be incorrect, these things are, only true of a particular world line out of infinite amounts of world lines.
Right.
So to actually get it accurately would be an amazing feat, because you've actually achieved at a level where you could understand at a very, very accurate degree what world line will be brought into existence and when. And that's hard to determine. It's just how are you going to do that properly? And that's where a lot of the lore comes from, which is the goody stuff. Is my dad, if we get him on the podcast, he'll talk about it. But a lot of the high level yogis who would know their shit, go through the caves and live there and not eat or drink for days, and be able to
That's
freaking
insane.
absorb the power of the universe. There's literally a guy that does that now, that the government has or I don't know if the government, but they were studying him. A science group was.
Right.
He wasn't eating or drinking.
Yeah, he was
just
out in the
sitting there.
woods, right? And
No,
then
he's just like in the lab. He's just chilling with the
oh,
people, the scientists. They're trying to figure out how he can live without
consuming.
eating food and substance. And then he's just like, he goes, no, in Kundalini Yoga, I just drink the nectar of the universe. Well,
Whoa.
yeah. And that goes into some crazy shit when I talk about there's literally in Kundalini I've read and from what I've read from a yogi as well,
Yeah.
that there's literally like on the top of your brain there's a small teeny weeny little pool of this liquid. I mean they refer to it as the nectar.
Yeah.
I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
in scientific terms I haven't been able to find out what it actually is because it's very hard to detect. It's like how you're supposed to find like a little pool of liquid within
Never heard
near
of
the
that.
top of your head. I mean, it's in the brain a little bit on the
Yeah.
surface. I had to reread it again, but
Hold on one moment. Can you
Oh.
pause one moment? I have to.
Pause.
My shitty human 1.0 body needs to go pee pee
Go to the
real quick.
bathroom.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be right back. Sorry.
in one reality, you didn't do that, bitch.
In one reality, I manned the fuck up and I maintained myself. Yeah, you're right. But
jetted
keep
on
it
the
going. Talk
floor.
about whatever the hell you want. I'll be back.
Okay, cool. Later. So, anyway, I'll get back to that topic in a second, but I would like to go over one basic method of meditation before actually my friend Derek comes back. I'll get back to the story of this mystery liquid on the top of your brain. Yeah, because I know some people were asking me just some meditation advice or how to get into a state of bliss and feeling of clearing your brain cache from all the garbage you intercept on a daily basis. Honestly, it's very easy to meditate if people were interested. Literally just find a quiet spot that you're not going to be disturbed for about I do a solid half hour sometimes. I've gone a full hour, which is a little much. But you don't have to meditate for long. I mean, to get into the state that I like to get into for a person who isn't really experienced in that category, I usually average it out to be about 25 solid 30 minutes. When you get better at kind of getting into the state of meditation, it could take only about 10 to 15. And then from there, you stay as long as you want in that state and then and leave whenever you want. So find a quiet spot. There's two methods of like sitting and laying down that I like to do. I like to do the lay down method just because there's an important thing that you need to do is keeping your spine absolutely straight. Keeping that straight. So, I mean, I lay on the carpet. I can lay flat. If this is too uncomfortable, I know some people cannot really do that for a long period of time, especially like on a hard surface where you're not really laying on a blanket or whatever. You could just do like a comforter, lay it on the floor, and have like I do like a towel or some light pillow near the head, and you can just lay flat on your back, and from there just have your palms up, resting up, and you have your feet laying out to the side, and basically from that point, laying flat on the surface, you want to close your eyes and then start doing what I call, this is ocean breath, which is in pranayama, just like the one basic breath to get in sync. So through the nose all the way and expanding from your chest up. There's like three parts of breathing: lower, mid, and high. So there's your diaphragm, your mid section, and your upper chest region. So when you breathe through your nose, you want to actually extend your chest out. When we do different Kundalini yoga and Tibetan yoga, we really emphasize having your chest and your heart open, and this is like this is like the loving aspect of yoga too. I mean, that's kind of how you emphasize yourself when you even gain confidence when you do this too. I mean, you actually open yourself up, and you seem like you can take charge in any situation. It's a very positive thing to do, and it does great wonders for your spine when you have that open, your chest open. But basically, when you breathe, you have your lower diaphragm fill up, and it fills up the top of your chest. And then you want to breathe out through your mouth, but in a certain way where you have your mouth closed, and you're kind of like letting out hot air out of like kind of like a you want to do like that, like with your mouth closed. So it's like almost like a growl, but it's just like exhaling that deep breath with your mouth closed.
I've
You're
heard
gonna
that many a times before.
you can continue to do that in a very, methodic pace. Just keep continually doing that just to calm yourself down. Now, the state before you hit next is you're gonna start feeling. For most people, it comes early, comes later. You'll start to feel some sleep paralysis. This is normal. You actually kind of want to avoid it. Just continue to focus on the breath. What's going to happen is when you focus on the breath, and this is the one thing that you need to focus on, is that when you keep focusing on this one thing, which is one thing I really recommend is like what worked for me the most is just focusing on breathing, this technique. You're going to let your body is going to start to actually just fall asleep. Your mind is going to stay awake during this. So this is a good thing because you're going to be exercising breath throughout the entire experience. So one thing you're going to feel is like you're going to feel very relaxed, which is going to feel great. But your body's going to start to go numb in some parts, which is okay. You may feel some twitching. There's nothing wrong with that. I call there's a lot of energy moving through your body, and your body's going to be trying to calm down. So it'll do some spasming at first. Eventually that'll go away when you do it more, on a regular basis. So from there, you're going to feel at a state where you're almost completely relaxed. And I'm talking about your facial muscles completely dimmed down to nothing. Almost your eyes are completely dulled down. I'm talking about every muscle in your body. You're not moving crap. Just breathing, focusing on the breath. And then you're going to move to a second breath. Now, you can continue to do that breath I just explained throughout the whole entire meditation sequence. But the next phase kind of kicks it up a notch, and this is called fire breath. The next breath phase really kicks it up a notch, and this is where it works your heart chakra, with your heart glands, and basically the heart muscles, and the thyroid, and then the pineal, because it basically from after this breath, it's just like a shit ton of energy continues to go up and down the spinal region of your whole body very quickly. So when you do this breath, you do it for I think it's about 3 to 5 minutes of breathing. Some people can't go for very long, but the breath is a very fast movement of out through the nose, but you want to actually have your diaphragm go in and out.
That's the Royce Gracie. That's the Gracie breathing.
Yeah. Yep. So you want to actually keep breathing. You're going to pull in your diaphragm very, very, like all the way, like your stomach is. Pretend like your front stomach is trying to touch the back of the spine, as best as you can go. Like it'll help. Like eventually it'll get better because it'll strengthen your diaphragm like crazy. And yeah, you're right. Like how you bring up the Gracies, they practice these different breathing techniques because it helps them when you're on the ground and you have someone like 10 times your size on top of you and wrestling and grappling. There's a lot of breath that's being taken out of you because his weight's on top of you and it's getting hard to breathe. Every moment he's got his weight on you. So with jiu-jitsu, they do those techniques to help lower their breathing and to help control their breathing so they can still remain focused, recover on the ground, even when they're on their back.
I actually have the video. I have the exact video, the moment where he starts doing the crazy breathing.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great.
People, whoever's watching this, it's the craziest looking shit you'll ever see. It looks like an alien stomach. It's crazy. Check this out. So I'm going to...
Yeah, let's put this up.
Yeah. I'm going to do this. Start playing. Whoops. Why? Here we go.
Oh, do you have the point when he does it?
I'm about to select it. It's right. Hey, what's the time? 24:51. What basically you're about to see is some crazy, masterful breathing techniques that not many human beings can actually do. All right, we're gonna play this right now.
He's at it.
Yeah, he's amazing. All right, we're gonna watch it right now. And I'm going to switch this to the monitor.
Try keep my physical very smooth as and a combination where I can be very flexible, very strong, very fast, very well coordinate, with a good balance, with
Here it is.
good breathing. So those elements I try combine.
Yep, this is fire breathing. So you watch his diaphragm.
Sometimes
It's
when
all
I make
working
my
that
routines,
diaphragm.
I
And
get
there's
in a
different
very special
exhalations and
state
inhalations.
of
You can do
meditation.
forced
And this
out
is
breath, forced
beautiful
in breath,
because I'm
but
able
the one
to
I focus on
exercise
is in and out.
totally
Both
clean
in
Check
my
it out.
mind
Here it
and
is.
keep myself in the present moment.
He is literally sculpting his abdominal region.
Yeah,
When you control your breath,
insane.
you can actually control yourself mentally and physically. You can really understand your fears and your emotional stress.
Listen to what he's saying, Mo. This is about what I was about to segue into. Controlling your body and emotional state with breath. It's like the easiest thing that you never think of that can do a lot for you.
Yeah, you would think it wouldn't be like that simple. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you would need to like become stronger physically to like, you know, face your fears. But really, it's breathing, and that's the essence of your existence. And on that note, we're at an hour and 5 minutes already.
I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Let's
I
go.
want to finish this up.
Oh shit!
People
Keep
are
it going,
waiting.
ladies
Yeah, no,
and gentlemen.
we're
Go.
good.
Do it.
All right. So, all right. So you're laying on the ground, fire breath. You're going to be doing that for about 3 to 5 minutes. Basically, you can time yourself. I mean, if you have headphones and you like to listen to music, you can set an alarm timer that will go off like once, like so you know to go to the next phase of what you're trying to do. Or you can try to focus on counting in breath, but that kind of gets more difficult because you're taking time and focusing on two things instead of one. I recommend just focusing on the one. There are like guided meditations that you can try to do, and they help immensely when you don't have a teacher or a yogi to help you. But basically, after that breath, you're gonna feel almost like a premature nirvana state. Like literally after that breath, it's from what it's worked me from a relaxed state. My pineal gland just goes nuts. Like my heart feels like incredible, and I'm like seeing all sorts of geometry and shape and light and color and everything. Like it's almost you get launched into like insane space. Like from that point,
Wow.
it's very intense. So, but after that, I feel incredible. Like from this state now, I go back into ocean breath. So again, I go. Same deal, and you still continue to work the diaphragm. The diaphragm is the most important part, your tummy. So you always want that to go out and in. It's like the simplest workout with breath, and you wouldn't believe it, but you'll start even losing weight from doing breath. It's crazy. Then from that state, you can do one more breath, and this is called root locks. There's different chakra root locks that you can do. That I mean, this breath will sound a little ridiculous, but I mean. From one point, you're going to start breathing in. And what you'll do is breathe in and what you're going to try to do, you're going to actually work your lower glands and your sphincter. Basically, what you'll do is you'll have your sphincter open, and then what you'll do is tighten and have the breath go up. Basically, when you're doing that. So what you'll do is you breathe in, and then root lock, and then release the energy, and then it goes down. So again, what you're doing is what you're exercising is the energy then controlled going up, maintaining this crazy state, and then releasing the stuff, releasing the energy. And that's what the root lock would do. And that's the first root lock. There's different crazy ones after.
How many are there? How many root locks are there?
Well, as many as
chakras?
In theory, as many as chakras. Now, the last one would be the most insane one. That'd be your pineal, which you'd finish on.
Yeah.
But either way, from that point on, I mean, that's a 30-minute session right there. When I go from ocean breath to fire breath to one root lock, It's about 30 minutes of meditation, roughly.
Hmm.
And after that, sometimes you're gonna fall asleep. Either you don't pay attention
That's
or
crazy. I never heard anyone say that before about meditation. It's like, oh, you might
oh,
fall asleep. Like, I've never in my
well,
life heard that.
when I've been
I
trying
believe
to
you,
help
but
Lorraine, no, when I
yeah.
try to help Lorraine, she gets too relaxed and she can't focus and she'll fall asleep. And it's okay, it's normal, but
That's funny.
the goal is to keep focused on that one thing, so
Yeah.
that your brain stays in conscious state, and your body would just like it'll go away. Like you won't feel your body anymore. And that's one of the weirdest sensations that people can't get to, is the disconnect between the two.
Right.
And then basically at that point, it's all fun and games from there, and you'll see what it's like.
You'll check it out,
Good
motherfucker.
luck.
Have fun.
Really, that's my one little meditation teaching in a nutshell.
That's cool, man.
And I recommend getting or learning the 5 Tibetans, which is a book. They have lots of them out now, or that teach different Himalayan yoga. And if there's a really cool story behind that, because it was it's also known as the 5 rites of rejuvenation. This is done by like the crazy yogis in the Himalayas. It was brought over to the West, I think in the late 70s, by a British Army officer who learned them at a Tibetan lamasery. So it was like a not like a shrine, but like a what's the other word for it?
The temple?
Yeah.
Sort of like that?
Yes,
Yeah.
basically. He taught these exercises to thousands of people that were seeking a healthier lifestyle, but he learned them and gained incredible results. And they take a minimum amount of time on a daily basis, like maybe about 10 minutes when you master this yoga session, doing 10 minutes in the morning and you're done. There's only 5 moves. That they do have an optional of 6, which they work all. The first one's the most quirkiest one, because what it does is it works the balance mechanism inside your ear, your inner ear. So what you do is you stand like straight up and you have your arms spread out and you do like 21 spins. It's always 21 repetitions of the same move.
So you just spin in a circle 21 times.
So you spin it, you spin in a circle 21 times while keeping focus on seeing straight, not like turning your head or whatever.
Wow, that would make me dizzy as shit.
That it does, but what you do, you have to try to stay in the same spot, and it exercises the inner ear membrane that helps balance, that actually feels out balance.
That
you have
probably
that
physics figure skaters probably
Well,
have
did you ever
mastered.
do that as a kid? You spin around and get dizzy on purpose?
Yeah, because I was like, I feel so good.
Well,
like
right,
I would,
but it does make you feel good, right? Isn't
because it's like silly, it's like very, very silly.
But it's not. There's a natural thing behind that, and it does make you feel good after. It gets you like high. This whole entire yoga session gets you fucking high.
Yeah.
And like after it, like it's almost like it's also physically straining. Like the first time, and if you haven't been working out or in shape, even like you'll feel a crazy exercise out of this, because the other different methods is doing different spinal stretches and then doing the breath at the same time. So like there's one where you're on your knees and you have your hands like near the back of your hips, and you're going to stretch your spine all the way back while breathing at the same time and filling your chest up with air all the way, and then exhaling. You do that like 21 times, and at the end of it you're like, like damn, I'm like losing breath already. Like it's crazy. But in essence, it doesn't take that much time, and it helps strength and mental acuity. They say it just helps relieves muscular tension, nervous stress, improves respiration, digestion, everything. And you'll feel that you'll get more natural energy out of the day too from doing it.
So nuts how we just recently have been like on this, we as in people have been on this like yoga, breathing spiritual kick. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't that popular like back in 2003, let's say. You know what I mean? Like, recently it just opened up. Like, people ended up waking up going, "Wait a second, this actually does work." Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
it's really
like it's
neat.
a new. Well, right. It's a old method, so simple. But what's the definition of being healthy nowadays? In the short amount of time that we have, that we're gonna have eventually, it's gonna get worse because we have to maintain all this technology and it's growing at an insane pace, and we're not having the time nowadays maybe to go to the gym or do what we wanted to do to think that we get healthy from, where we're gaining insane amounts of muscle mass. And is this really the way to gain strength and energy? Not really. There's other ways that you can maintain those type of things without going to a gym like the Y and doing an isolation workout on a machine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually true, because the faster everything starts growing, we're less time for ourselves.
God.
It's so insane to think about how where we're at right now is nothing like our parents.
It's nutty, man. And that goes back into quantum mechanics. Like, I have a video of quantum teleportation where photons of light, they've actually been able to send through computer systems, like computer processing. So I think there was this one video I guess I put up or whatever that we have, just shows about like showing the first success of quantum teleportation and sending quantum qubits, basically just sending information at a quantum level. Like,
I thought we were able to do that a long time ago. Didn't we figure that out? Like,
well, no, like we've been trying to figure it out, but quantum processing has always been a difficult thing to achieve. But now,
oh, so wait, this is a quantum processing as well?
Yeah, well, just basically that quantum, like the quantum processor, like for computing.
Yeah.
Which is like a huge step though for us, because now that's like a huge gap for us to gain a technology where we don't have to wait for information anymore. It'll be instantaneous at our fingertips. And
that's true, because right now computers are at like a standstill speed-wise. You know, everyone's at the same speed. You know what I mean? You have like everyone has 8 gigs of RAM. Everyone has a dual or quad core with at least 2.6 gigahertz. You know what I mean? Like everyone already has that, and it's at a standstill. You can't go any higher than like 4 or something. You know?
Exactly.
Like,
but with this, it's like, do you take the base like computing language, like you know how it's like ones and zeros, like in binary code, how we can communicate with computer language and stuff. With quantum processing, it could within how it can compute is it could either be a 1 and a 0. Both realities exist.
So that's
just like what we talked about.
Yeah, that basically means instant, because it can be anything at any time. It could just be whatever it wants. Oh my God! Imagine the entertainment you could get from that.
Yeah, and I'm in the web development industry, so we had a discussion at work about now that they've had this breakthrough with quantum encryption and quantum computing.
Yeah,
this is going to change my my work vastly. Like,
what about quantum hackers?
People we brought that up too. Where we were thinking, like, because like when my one presenter was talking about this, we're like, he was pouting that quantum encryption would be like unbreakable. Yeah. Because you would have an infinite amounts of variations of trying to break it. But I'm like, well, wait, now everyone's in the same playing field once the quantum computer.
Exactly, right?
Right. Well, we brought that up, but then, the thing is, I don't know. We had we went tit for tat on it, but still, like, I could still argue with a quantum computer, why can't I figure out a way with my quantum computer to figure out this infinitesimal algorithm or hash key that I'm trying to break?
Because it would be able to calculate. It would be able to check passwords.
Yeah, it would just be as fast
instantly. There would be no processing. It would just be like it would know like if it is or isn't at a blink of an eye.
At the same time.
At the same fucking time. And then
is it gonna be a paradox? Like a black hole's gonna open up when I do that?
Dude, quantum hackers are gonna be insane, man. People are gonna get crazy with that.
It's just like hacking now, except it's just a whole different level.
Yeah, it's instead of like hey, I think it's this password. Let me try it out. Nope. Okay. I think it's this password. Let me try it out. Nope. It's not this password, but it is this password. Let me check it out. No, it's not this password. It's this password. No,
well,
let me check this out. And it's instant.
Yeah, it's like how I mine Dogecoin. Because I mine, and basically what's happening is when I mine with my machine, I'm using up my GPU, my graphics processor, to basically, I'm going to explain this in most lowest terms possible. To break down.
Well,
hash.
we've explained this numerous
Yeah,
times.
basically breaking down the encryption.
Yeah, cutting it up.
Yeah, but basically at a certain rate. So it's going through so many different variations and options of how to break it per second. So it can do like 130 different K hash a second, like trying to figure out the sequence and trying to break that.
The first guy that gets a quantum computer and does Bitcoin is going to be one powerful motherfucker.
Oh my god! Yeah, no kidding. But let's watch this video.
Let's load this up.
I had it up before. I just wanted to watch it. I don't even think I watched all of it today. It's a quick way, though.
Come on, play. Oops. Nope. This website's being a dick.
Oh no. Sync video ain't syncing. Again.
I can't even remove. Oh, Jesus.
Wait, did you click the right room?
Oh, I'm in it. I can play it on YouTube independently. But
just do that.
Yeah, but you won't be able to hear it. I don't want to do that. Here, how about this? How about this? Open this in a new tab. I'm gonna send you to a new sync video room.
Yeah.
That's a bad sync video room.
Yeah, just doesn't want to work with us.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna invite you to this new one. There you go. Go in there.
Done. You have the video, right?
Maybe.
It's red. It's the last one I just sent.
Yeah, I got it. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
We're gonna watch an awesome video. It's actually it's pretty nerdy, but you know what?
Yeah,
it's
nerdy
worth
as fuck. Who cares?
We're
doing it. Boom! It's on screen, full screening, playing.
The Furusawa Group at the University of Tokyo has succeeded in demonstrating complete quantum teleportation of photonic quantum bits by a hybrid technique for the first time worldwide.
Those glasses are fucking
sweet. In 1997,
no kidding,
quantum teleportation of photonic quantum bits was achieved by a research team at Innsbruck University in Austria.
They look like an Ultra 2014
However,
DJ just hitting knobs.
Such quantum teleportation couldn't be used for information processing because measurement was required after transport, and the transport efficiency was low. So quantum teleportation was still a long way from practical use in quantum communication and quantum computing. The demonstration of quantum teleportation of photonic quantum bits by the Furusawa Group shows that transport efficiency can be over 100 times higher than before. Also, because no measurement is needed after transport,
they're a bunch of
this result constitutes a major advance towards quantum information processing technology.
1997年にその
Oh, this is not good for the listeners, dude. They can't read this.
先ほどお話ししたように成功したわけですけど、
the subtitles, they don't know what the fuck they're saying.
確率的に
the listeners, the people, no, on iTunes, people won't be able to know what the hell they're saying.
Oh, in 1997.
We can't do this.
まあちょっと違うやり方で
Mr. Japanese man, you screw
我々
us
が
up.
We can't do this. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Basically, yeah. Go for it.
Insane shit with quantum teleportation.
They did it. Let's just say it. They fucking did it. They moved something from point A to point B with computers. Hallelujah. Jesus is coming back, y'all, in 2019.
He said he invented Gojira.
Gojira!
Gojira is real.
All right, I'm sorry to nerd out for a moment because we're talking about some really serious shit, but excuse me. The new Godzilla movie sounds amazing, looks amazing. I cannot wait. We're going to play the trailer.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
I love that trailer.
I actually haven't seen the new trailer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, put it up.
I'm doing it. I'm fighting it right now. Which one is it?
You know what's really great is like
1 week ago. No, it's the Asia trailer.
You've seen the Matthew Broderick film, right?
Yes.
Oh,
What about it?
Isn't that have you watched it recently?
No.
It is probably the funniest thing. You got to watch it one more time before this movie.
I don't know which one's. Is it the trailer number 2?
Yeah, trailer 2.
Ah, I found it.
Okay.
Let me. Oh, it's already moody. It's moody as fuck.
Oh.
Here we go.
Oh
Here we
my
go.
gosh.
This is
Official
happening.
Trailer number 2. Radiation and lizards.
Boom.
So on point.
Play. This is where Quantum's headed, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Godzilla.
I want to talk to somebody in charge.
Oh, fuck this guy. Go away.
You
Get
are
off my
not
screen.
fooling anybody when
Whatever.
you say that what happened was a natural disaster. You're lying. It was not an earthquake. It wasn't a typhoon.
I've already
Because
seen
what's
this one.
really happening
I thought there was a
is that
new
you're
one.
hiding
No, this is
something
it.
out there.
This is number 2. It's like some trailers always use the same footage.
And it is going to
Dubstep.
send us back to the Stone Age.
Oh my god.
That they're like recreating some of the same scenes from the 2000 movie where he's like coming out of the
But
ocean.
way better.
But like amazing, like.
In 1954,
Oh my god, I can't wait.
we awakened something.
It's gonna be like probably the best Godzilla ever.
Well, there's
Yeah.
nuclear tests in the Pacific.
Apparently he's bigger too. He's like
He's huge. He's
Twice
over
as-
400
They
feet
were
tall.
trying to-
yeah, he's twice the size of the old one.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
more than that probably. It's
Yeah.
like crazy man.
You have no idea what's coming.
And he's kind of fat too.
Yeah, he's a little chubby.
But it's all good. And it still looks sick.
How the hell are they gonna win? We can't win.
Well, no, I mean, like, people have been talking that they see these other creatures come out of nowhere.
Yeah, there's one
Yeah,
other that's
so
flying
who
in the
knows what
sky.
fuck's gonna happen.
Well, oh my god, it's not even over yet.
So amazing.
And not the
Jets
other way
are getting
around.
torn
Jets
down.
flying in the sky, people shooting flares in the sky, going, "Come down here to save us!"
Yeah, let's go look at this thing. What is it?
Whoa, it's huge. It's going through the clouds.
I mean, there's nothing you can do to fight that. It's just gonna come in and it's gonna destroy shit.
Literally, yeah, we can't, like, this
That's all
whole...
this movie. This whole movie is just this monster coming in and.
Why is that bitch on that
freaking-
screen? Screw
Oh,
her.
Who's this bitch?
I don't know, but she's got some
Who's this lady?
some yummy tummies, if you know what I'm talking about. No, you know what's funny is people are, I think, confused. I don't think people realize that the movie's actually a versus movies. Some guy was saying how the Godzilla movie is secretly a versus movie, meaning it's Godzilla versus X monster, Godzilla versus some other thing. So it's going to be really freaking crazy, like back and forth battling. But it's one of the first trailers I've seen in a long time that have not ruined the movie for me. You
Yeah.
know, I still want to see it, and it's
Oh,
it's coming
I think they
soon,
did-
man.
Yeah, they did an excellent job with the trailer. Like, there's some
Yeah.
people that still can make a good trailer.
Yeah.
You know, people are always getting off about stupid trailers, and that's totally true because
Yeah.
they like. It's either I don't know. It's actually, you know, one of our friends said something that's really correct. Just why do you watch the trailer? But you always get hooked into it anyway. There's no way of escaping it. they want you to know the movie exists, otherwise no
Yeah.
one will know about it.
That's super true, dude.
I mean, you could. Oh, you know what I've seen though, which is really cool.
What?
The optics of this new holographic movie posters digitally that they have. Like, someone has been making these on our movies on the Reddit subreddit,
Yeah.
and they look amazing. Like, if you could search for it, I might post
What
it
do
up on
what
Facebook.
do I what do I
I'll
search
post it up
for?
on Facebook later, but I know
Okay.
I wish I could show you. But basically,
Yeah.
what they'll do is they'll take a movie poster and animate one little slight thing with it. So you almost have like a little reaction going like on that you can see, and
That's
and
pretty cool, man.
it is really awesome. Like someone did like the old Alien one where it's like Ripley's head in a spacesuit. And
Right.
you see her slightly breathing
Right.
like in and out, and that's it. And that's the whole movie
Whoa.
poster. But it's like it gives a little more
Dude,
definition.
that's a
and-
glimpse
and
of the
life.
future, man.
Oh yeah,
Everything's gonna
I
be
just got that in
moving.
my head exactly.
Yeah.
At the quantum mechanics, I saw that line, and I'm like, that's it. That's
That's-
that's gonna happen.
Clothing patterns, advertising, everything's going to be moving in the future. Mark my words, and you know it's true. Everything will be animated. Everything will not be stationary anymore. Graphic designers will have to understand movement. They'll have
Yeah.
to understand how to
shit
animate everything around. Yeah. You know what's funny is our friend
Well, 'cause
at,
print's going out of business. Like, right?
That's,
I mean,
there
well,
you
it's
go.
not like declined. It's not out of business.
Well, it's going out of business in the sense of it being paper
completely obsolete.
and
Why
shit.
would we keep doing that?
Yeah,
Like,
because people have iPads and shit. You know, like why the fuck are you gonna want like a magazine? But well, our friend Adam Daly, he brought up a really neat idea for like a concert, which is using the energy or the movement of the crowd to increase or decrease the tempo of the song. So you know when DJs go, "Come on, guys, come on, give it, make some noise, get some craziness." Yeah, pump up the fucking crowd because the song is about like the more pumped up the crowd is, the crazier the song's about to get, and the crowd's gonna want to go so insane because the song's gonna get quick and powerful and louder, and it will like create this dynamic of back and forth, and once again, movement. You know what I mean? It's all about the movement.
You could take that even a step further and imagine
Do it.
us,
Take
like,
it a step
being
further.
connected with a device where it and it affects our emotional state. What if we relinquish that type of freedom against anything really? That
What
like,
do you,
well, we
what
could
do you
opt
mean?
into
Like if you're at like a
this.
concert and your iPhone gives you like an orgasm or something?
Exactly. Well, no, it's not.
Whoa.
That's pretty. It's funny and extreme, but
That'd be the best fleshlight ever.
But I'm just saying, like, what if you're in the concert and someone, say you're on an app, like the music endorphin app, and someone, basically the performer, could press a button, and anyone with that app would get an injection of adrenaline or an endorphin, or they'll
You're
feel
fucking
happy.
evil, man. You're working for the man. You're the devil, man.
You can't do that.
You can't control my emotions, man. I don't want to be injected by your serum, bro. That's
Everyone
crazy.
Would try it. It's always the illusion of opting in, right?
I'd
because
fucking
like
try it.
the temptation of seeing that and be like, let me just try it once.
The next level of apps are going to be emotionally driven apps, where
gestures and stuff.
Music, I think, is going to end up evolving. There's one last stage of music. No, there's two. Wow, I feel like the guy from Doors. I feel like a dick saying that, where he like foresaw like a man with machines or whatever. It was like in that popular Skrillex song with the Doors. Anyway, I think there's two more levels of music. The first new level would be emotion, what you just talked about, where the song is somehow intertwined with your brain, you know what I mean, like your body and like your emotions. Because right now, music pumps you up, music gets you energy, music makes you happy, music makes you want to be like, oh, I'll fucking do something. I'm just so amped up right now. I feel great. I feel fucking great.
Well, yeah,
but
the different tempos of music, like it's like I like to.
That's
play,
all it
like,
is.
Heavy metal, like when I'm like like today, I feel like shit because I was drinking yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was hungover, and I'm like, I gotta play some metal or some strong
to
EDM
wake you up, to keep you ramped up, right?
Keep me up and keep going, and that's what gets me going.
That's where it's headed, right? That's the next stage, is what you just talked about with the injection. The stage after that, which is crazy, is the teleportation part, where it brings you to a place. So that's VR. That's augmented reality, where when you're hearing a song, it brings this meat vessel, as I call it, to another location amongst others listening to it, and you're now in this virtual utopia fucking place that has that emotion or feeling. Like if you hear like a really beachy song, you're gonna be on the beach. You're gonna be chilling under the star or under the sun, and you're gonna see the ocean. But if you're in like a metal song or some shit, you're gonna be in like fucking like Hell's Gates with like explosions, like and wars of like Vikings fighting.
Isn't that gonna be the coolest thing though?
Fuck yeah.
Well, here's one thing. What if you can't attend the concert you want to go to, and you can do it in VR for free? Now, at first, I think it'll be free, obviously, because the technology won't be that great, and not that many people may have it. Or
people are gonna want to go anyway, because no one's gonna be like, "Fuck that VR shit. What are you, gay?" And they're gonna want to go to the actual
like you already have
concert.
that now with like people streaming concerts live on YouTube.
Yeah, like Ultra 2014 was live.
Everyone gets to view it. I think that's a really good idea. Or they charge a small fee and you just watch the stream.
Yeah.
But and then, eventually, I don't know if they start charging for being at a virtual reality conference, and that's just another stupid thing.
Well, if you think about it, they do charge for. Well, actually, they don't charge for Ultra 2014 live. They don't charge for that. But VR, I think they'll charge for it because it's new, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, we have to pay people to maintain it." Because what if someone's like going around like?
First, it won't charge.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, because like I said, like not many people like they were. The whole idea is to get so many people on the technology, and then once you have everyone on it, then you can start pricing and doing all this other bullshit.
That's true. That's very, very true.
Because it's like what give one example that happened recently. It's like actually I could give another example with Skype, where they had almost kind of off to the start, they had the Pro and the other stuff, and now Pro has been kind of liquidated. It's like you can do more stuff for free.
Yeah, you can do the group chat for free now,
like Google
which
Hangout was doing all this other crazy stuff for free as well.
Yeah, Google Hangout, you and I could get like 8 other people on this bitch, and we could have 10 people rocking it, a video thing.
Yeah, and then they're ahead of the game because they can do like recordings and stuff right in Hangout. It's kind of nuts. Just right off the bat, free, nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why
they're trying to hook them onto their system.
Yeah, I think a lot of companies are headed to the route of, just give it to them. They'll pay when they want to pay, that kind of thing. It's almost like a loyalty
system. It's a waiting game.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, man. Like, it's the DLC era where everything's being paid for. You pay for what you want. If you want that channel, pay for it. If you want that map, pay for it. If you want that sound, pay for it. I think ringtones back in the day were a glimpse into the future because you were paying for things that you wanted on your phone, and no one really understood it. Everyone's like, "Oh, fuck, I'm not gonna pay for my ringtone." And there was ways around it, but really, that was like that was a prototype. I think that was like a beta test for that kind of shit.
For sure. And now it's like, well, I don't really give a shit about ringtones anymore. I think it's
no one gives a fuck
in my
anymore.
mind, it's already a passing fade.
Totally gone. No one gives a shit about that anymore. No. Everyone's either got their shit on vibrate because no one wants to know that, like, no one wants to be rude.
I'm doing complete stock tones. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. Well, there's also a thing with the iPhone. There's like this pretentious shit where it's like, it's an iPhone, so it's like, yeah, I got an iPhone, bitch. What I mean, no one gives a shit. Like, for instance, I laugh at people that are like, hey, I just got a new iPhone. I don't want to rock a case because it looks nice. And I tell them, I go, do you realize that no one gives a fuck about you having an iPhone? No one's looking at you like a girl going, oh, he has an iPhone? He must have a big dick. Like, no one's thinking that or saying that because you have an iPhone. What?
It's like, damn, that guy's got an S4. His cock must be huge.
Or it's the exact opposite. It's like the Hummer. The Hummer is so big that the guy's got a small dick.
The more they're compensating.
Yeah, exactly.
The bigger the phone, the more they're compensating.
Yeah, like, no one cares about that shit. That beauty of the phone, the sexiness is going away from these devices. Like, the new iPhone coming out, it's probably going to look identical to the 5S, and it's going to be bigger, of course, 4.7 inches, and the 5.5-inch one, which is crazy. But no one cares about that shit anymore. And we're like, people are still hung up over that. It's that caveman shit. Shiny. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, well, but hey, that's all part of, I did a lesson on this with work and stuff, like talking about what real good design is in an engineering perspective. Because Apple does that really well. And now they're going towards, like, how they're having all their sapphire freaking mines with all these crazy slave labor kids getting sapphire stones now to do all their technology, because now their screens are going to be the new, like, Gorilla Glass 4, like, sapphire crystal craziness.
Yeah.
Now they got sapphire in the fingerprint sensor, and they got sapphire in the freaking camera lens, and then they'll have sapphire all across the freaking screen.
Since when was sapphire so easily accessible?
I don't know.
What the fuck, Apple, man?
What did you find? Do you have a private spaceship? You have the Dragon MK3 already, or something like that? You're
Dragon MK2? Dude,
an asteroid that's pure sapphire?
Seriously, think about it. Like, you buy a fucking ring for your girl, and it's sapphire, because that's her birthstone, right? Like, if she was born in September, or October, rather. And, that's precious. It's a fucking sapphire. Now we have full screen sapphire pieces of glass with circles and lenses. Dude, since when did sapphire become that accessible to make millions and millions of fucking phones? Wow. What the? Is it really sapphire? Like, or are they doing maybe that?
Oh, no. It's sapphire.
Maybe they're doing what they do with diamonds. Remember with diamonds that you could build fake diamonds? Maybe they're doing the same thing where they're building fake sapphire. So it's 100% real sapphire. But
like an Asher sapphire thing?
Yeah, remember we learned about that where there's a factory where they're making diamonds in the secret location. Maybe they're doing it with sapphires.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Or like who knows? I really don't know. I'm like, I loved I should know because I loved collecting minerals when I was a kid. I loved rocks.
Yeah, I collected
always
rocks
collected,
too when I was
like,
a kid. Yeah.
lots of crystals like I actually have like when I went to this mine in like I think it was near it was not in Mexico. No, it was in
Did you?
Mexico. It was in,
I went to Virginia. I went to a gold mine in
yeah,
Virginia.
it was somewhere. It was either somewhere down south or
It was
the Midwest. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I had they gave you like a bag of sand that came from a certain like oasis. That
Wait, how old
like,
were you?
What?
How old
was
were
I?
you? Yeah.
Oh man,
10, 11, 12?
Maybe 4. Yeah, about that age, maybe 12.
I did the
15-ish.
exact same thing on the east side of the United States. I went to
Yeah.
like a Virginia-ish
Or
kind of
something-
place.
yeah, or
and I went, I got a
somewhere around there.
bag, and I was like, oh, I had stuff in it, and I have to like filter it
exactly.
out. Dude, we like did the same
Exactly.
shit on the opposite sides of Earth or on their planet or fucking country. Jesus.
That's nuts. Yeah,
That's
it's on the
fucking
East Coast.
crazy, man.
So they,
Wow.
they gave you a bag of sand, right?
Yeah,
And
they
then
give you a bag of
filter
sand.
it out,
Mhm.
and
You
then
find all the
get
cool little
this
shit.
crazy shit inside. I don't know if they throw it in there. Or I think it's actually real. Like
It's like a Happy
'cause I
Meal.
Got, well, I got a huge pink quartz, like the size like that big. It's just
Whoa.
huge. It's nice stone, and then I've got a ton of ruby,
Yeah.
sapphire,
Yeah.
emerald. I think I found some pyrite, which is the fake false gold. I think some small ones.
Isn't it funny how humans, we think like, ooh, it's shiny, it's nice. Ooh, it's so shiny. We love shiny shit.
Yeah, it's
We're
shiny
such
shit.
monkeys. We're such
It's
fucking
something
monkeys,
that,
dude.
Yeah, why would we alert or something like that?
Yeah,
It's
because you just said, you just went like this. You were like, a nice, big, shiny,
Yeah,
and
but
like, that makes us like fucking crazy. Like, ooh, we found it. Like, what is
maybe
that?
It's I think
The light?
what allures me, yeah. I think there's light
think
and
it's
the
the light?
prisms that we
Yeah.
see that is reflecting the light, and what we see is shining. Is
Huh.
really just this light reflecting in certain prisms in different ways in different colors that makes it beautiful. Just like how we think flowers are beautiful and like all these other things that come
That makes
natural. It's
sense,
kinda
actually.
crazy.
That actually makes a lot of sense because it's like we think of things that are very bright and
Yeah.
vivid as beautiful. Like, ooh, look at that car. It's so bright and clean. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? It's the same thing. But the source code to that, I always go back to the source code. The source code of that is insane because, excuse me, it's like, it's just shiny. It's just light reflecting off of it. Like, why is that so fascinating to us? But it's almost like we grew up in caves, and the moment there's something that's like metallic-y and shiny, we instantly are like amazed by it. It's almost like if we saw a UFO in person, we'd freak the fuck out because it would be so shiny and metallic-y. And go, whoa, what?
Whatever you see. I mean, I've seen UFOs, and the only time I saw them was in Florida. It was like
I remember that one story. You
lived
went
in-
fishing, and you saw something pretty crazy with Adam Trench and Josh. Yeah.
Fly shower.
Fly Shower. I love that last name. Fly Shower. So
yeah.
good. What a crazy kid.
Both crazy kids.
Ah,
Love
love them to
both.
death.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
either
you
way,
did
we
see
went
something
there,
for
we're
sure.
going fishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the story. It's funny. I'm drinking. I'm drinking a UFO.
I just realized that you are. Oh my god! Show it to the camera. What is it?
No, should I do that?
I'm drinking
Okay.
Yingling. Who cares?
Oh well. Yeah. there it
White
is.
UFO.
It's Harpoon makes it. That's a really
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. By the way, on the Death Squad podcast, when they have what is it? One of the podcasts, they have a beer drinking contest. So this is fine. This is totally fine. Yeah. we're good.
Well, okay, just in case. I didn't want like our video scrubbed from YouTube. Either way.
No, we're fine.
Yeah. So we all go fishing, right?
We're on iTunes now, bitch.
We all go fishing. It's like a normal day. Like we go right to the intercoastal, which is like not the ocean, but the channel where kind of like everyone has their their boats and everything, and then they'll go through the intercoastal to get.
It's
to
like
the ocean.
right before the actual ocean.
Yeah, there's
It's-
like think of it almost like a river that runs alongside, and you got a skinny piece of island that's what you go over the bridge to get to the ocean, right?
Right.
So we like fishing in the intercoastal because you can easily get fish from there.
Yeah.
Big fish, shark, and all sorts of crazy shit.
Right.
So we're there fishing, and it's a normal night. And to give you some backstory, Adam and I have actually seen another UFO event before this. Josh who on the other hand like did not have any clue at this at all. You know, we told him, we filled him in on our story and this other stuff when we try, like, we're talking about like UFOs and stuff. He was just like, "What are you talking about?" Like, he just didn't believe it. Well, I mean, just like completely like he just thought we were crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't blame you. It's just like what we saw. We, you know, stuff. There's. I'm just saying, like, it's not. It couldn't even have been alien. It's just there's something that we saw that was completely unbelievable and completely strange and that defied the laws of physics and did something I've never seen.
Made my
before.
brain melt.
It made my brain melt. I mean, it's like something breaking in reality. It's like what we talked about. Like, what if the quantum reality shifted in a way where we saw another reality pass into ours, that
colors leaking out of this freaking wall. Like, wait, what is happening?
Like, why is that happening? That's not supposed to happen. That's not real.
Yeah.
But, and that's funny to note that because Terrence McKenna thinks about that with UFO cases.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like a blip in a different reality shift.
Right.
It's like insane how he talks about it. But anyway, you know, Josh is very non-believer. He didn't think much of it when we told him. So now we're out fishing on the Intercoastal. We're not drinking. We're not doing anything. We're completely sober, just chilling out, hanging on the Intercoastal. You know, completely clear-minded. We're just talking, hanging out. It was a dull night. We weren't catching much. And then out of the corner of my eye, we're all like kind of in a row, like sitting in our chairs we bring to the beach or the Intercoastal. We sit on like the little edge of the road there that we fish off of.
Yeah.
And out of the corner of my eye, I see this crazy light come in. Like, instantly I'm thinking meteor or asteroid or falling
star.
Yeah, like a falling star.
Yeah,
or shooting star rather.
Yeah.
And I see this come in right out of my corner of my eye, and I notice it. And obviously, Josh and Adam noticed it at the same freaking time, all within a maybe fractions of a second.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, and I remember this just like it was yesterday.
I remember this night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When you guys told us.
Right in, and I think it was Josh or Adam. I think it was Josh. He goes, "Hey, look, guys, it's a shooting star." Stopped because the light came in. I was looking at it, and I saw this thing come in. It was coming. If I were to describe, it was coming up north, and it was like coming up north at a ridiculous speed. Like, you know, you would expect to see like a shooting star. It's almost like instantaneous. Like this thing's going maybe 40,000+ miles an hour or something retarded.
Yeah.
And it basically what it does is slows down almost to like a helicopter hovering speed, and like close enough to it, and then it changes directions, and then it's an orangey yellowish orb. I think it was more orange than anything.
Right.
And it came in, and I saw it stop, and then it started going right out. And I'm seeing this clear, like it's almost like I could say it's probably about 100 to 120 feet above my head, or about that, close, very close, maybe 200 feet.
Yeah,
very visible for sure. And it came in, stopped, changed direction, and then just started to go at a very mellow pace right out towards the ocean. I remember watching this thing, and it's going out towards the ocean, and then all of a sudden it starts pulsing on and off. It's like
as it's floating.
Yeah, as it's floating.
Okay.
Like it was a steady stream of light for a while, and then all of a sudden it just started to pulse, and then all of a sudden, boop, cloak mode, and then just went away, just disappeared.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then and then Adam and I were jumping for joy because this was our second or third, or I forgot, our second time of us seeing this thing.
Yeah.
So we're like, we saw the freaking UFO. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
And Josh was just in his chair, like. Like he was freaking out. We actually had to tell him. For a while he broke his mind a little bit.
I remember that night when he came back to the house on 38.
He was
super broken. He was
he was like, what is my what is reality right now?
Yeah, he was super like everything was questionable now. Like he was like,
holy, like what is real right now?
Yeah. Wait, are we partying right now? Are you here right now? Can I touch you right now? Are you here? Are we in this house right now on 38th Street? Like, are we happening here? Oh, we are? Okay, good.
Exactly.
I guess, maybe. Like, he was super fucking shook up, man. That was awesome.
It was insane, and it was fun. It was funny to see someone that was so standoffish or just not, as a non-believer of anything that could happen like that to that degree, completely change their perspective on that note. It was wild.
I mean, you
and
take
he would
that.
Never. Oh, what?
No, what are you saying? He would never.
No, I was
what?
just saying, just a complete paradigm shift in his head.
No, for sure. And like, you take that little blip in time, that moment, right, and you multiply it by 1 billion. And you add millions and millions of people on Earth, and you take that one little thing, and you multiply it by 1 million times, and you think about like what the world would react to.
Oh my God.
If that guy was so confused, like he was a wholesome American kid, just like did his thing. If that exact same experience happened to everyone on Earth
on a global level,
everything would fucking stop.
It would turn on its head.
No one would want to go to work. Because no one would be like, everyone would be like, dude.
Why would I want to work? I'd be talking to everybody at work, be going like, okay, listen, everybody, this is what's going to happen. Because now something has changed drastically.
Yeah, like, what the fuck was that? Was that an alien? That was an alien? Okay, now let's talk about this. Why are we working right now? Why are we not learning about them?
The slave work for the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers can wait for a second because this shit is crazy.
Yeah, like, you would want to know more, and it would be the next stage of a reality. You know how addicting reality television is for these people, where like you're peering into the lives of people that you'll never ever
which completely define it. I mean, everyone has a subject to brainwash, and then no one really admits to it. Even I and you are still subject to some certain levels of brainwash.
I'm pure, bro. I don't got any of that. I'm totally fucking pure, bro. I got no shows.
Right. Well, we'll see.
I got nothing.
See.
I got nothing.
Yeah?
I'm just kidding. I have Storage Wars. I'm addicted to Storage Wars. I can't stop watching Storage Wars. I just want to know what's inside this stupid little room. What's in the box?
I know the mystery.
What's in that fucking box?
That is, yeah.
Like, give me it. I want it. I want to know. It was a watch that was worth $1,200.
Storage Wars. I always thought that show was just like completely immoral because I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Who owns this goddamn thing that that these people are just going up and breaking into it and stealing all the person's shit?
Well, it's not stealing because it's an agreement.
And like I think my dad just said like, oh, these people just have these storage centers and they don't pay for them anymore. Or they
exactly. They abandon them. They're abandoned.
And I'm like, wait a minute. You're telling me that if I rented out storage and I'm not paying for it anymore, that I'm just gonna leave all my shit there? They'll deal with it?
Yeah.
When you have like collectible crap in there, there's something off.
Well, you know what's actually the moment I learned that it was bullshit was when there was an episode of Storage Wars. It's funny how we just talked about fucking awesome aliens and now we're talking about Storage Wars.
Storage Wars. There's an alien in the box.
There's an alien inside. There's a body.
No. The day I figured out that it was all bullshit was the day that there was an episode of they opened up a new storage and like they did the whole like snapshot to the guy cutting it with the saw thing and the clanking and the door going up. Right. All the boxes inside the storage container had tape over all the logos, even deep inside of the storage container. What? There was a bike in the back. The bike had tape on the fucking logos, which means some fucking producer was like, hey, we got to get in there and we got to cover it up with a bunch of... cover up all logos, and we have to then like maybe plant a few things so they could go, oh, we're going to have to get this checked out. This looks like an alien artifact, and I need to get this checked out real quick. This could be worth a lot. And then you find out it's like a fucking vibrator from circa 1400 and like it won't even be worth anything. But anyway, it's bullshit. It's a total bullshit thing. It's scripted reality. But the whole thing I brought that up for was because that's our current interest. And when I say we, I mean people. You know, we don't have anything up in the sky yet to make us go, whoa, what the fuck, you know? I think like aliens and shit or whatever. Not even aliens. I think 99.99999% of shit that we see in the sky, like what you saw, might have been just military, just a new type of fucking military craft and just a black project. You know,
again, like it's an unidentified object. Yep. I don't know what it is, and I've thought about the same thing. I'm like, you know. One, I could think, okay, it could have been a passing alien spaceship, or it could be one of the new military craft that they're like testing, and that's more than plausible because, you know, from what we've always talked about, these, you know, there's secret space races going on now. Space is also being privatized heavily. We don't know who has what and what they're developing in the methods of space flight. And I'm like, and I always get like always tidbits of like those hints from like astronauts and
yeah, astronauts say some creepy shit, don't they, when they're on camera? They're like,
honestly, they're one of the most credible pieces of evidence in determining what's out there, and without any bullshit. If they're really gonna talk, they'll say something, even if it's a little cryptic, and they won't actually directly say because you know they're under oath. And the thing is, if the astronauts are going up, they definitely have protocols. Like the one thing I always wanted to know is like the protocol of an astronaut of when they meet an alien, because that has to be a real scenario, right? Is that like such a smart question?
God.
I was gonna ask like Buzz Aldrin that and Neil and live when they were doing the podcast. I should have.
You'd have been tackled. Get him! And like just people tackle you and just take you off.
Like, we got a code red.
Yeah, and you just get tackled by men in suits and taken out back, and like, oh, you don't fucking come about here ever again.
Oh
yeah. Dude, there has to be. There fucking has to be protocol for that kind of shit. You can't sit there and pretend as the government and go, yeah, there's no aliens. And then you think about space and how infinite it is and that we exist in space, so why wouldn't there be one of us somewhere else with the ability to fucking escape this rock for, you know, purposes?
Well, you want to hear something crazy? So I've been documenting all of astronaut and high-level NSA, CIA, Air Force, reputable people on what they think of alien life, contact, and the existence of UFOs, military technology in our, you know, in our reality. So, for one, Colonel Gordon Cooper, the Mercury and Gemini astronaut, he said this: I believe that extraterrestrial vehicles and their crews are visiting this planet from other planets, which obviously are a little more technically advanced than we are on Earth. I had him quoted saying that. I have Captain Edgar Mitchell, Apollo 14. I happen to be the privileged enough to be in on the fact that we have been visited on this planet and UFO phenomenon is real. It has been covered up by governments for quite some time now. Astronaut Eugene Cernan, Apollo 17 commander. I've been asked about UFOs, and I've said publicly I thought they, UFOs, were somebody else or some other civilization. Astronaut Katie Coleman. Mission control. We have a UFO pacing our position. Request instructions. That was one of the UFO incidents with Katie Coleman. When she was like detecting it. I think it was one of the, I forgot what flight it was, mission, but I think you can YouTube it, and I think it's on there. But Captain Donald Slayton, Mercury astronaut. I was testing a P-51 fighter in Minneapolis when I spotted this object. It looked like a saucer, a disc. About the same time, I realized that it was suddenly going away from me. And there I was, running at about 300 miles per hour. I tracked it for a little way, and then all of a sudden, the damn thing just took off. Pulled a 45-degree angle, climbing turn, and accelerated at just a flat rate, and just flat disappeared.
Zero fucks that thing gave. It was like, what's physics?
Like,
it just takes off.
Yeah, and
wow.
You know, it gets crazy. Like Dr. Story Musgrave.
These are credible freaking people, man.
Oh, I have all this documented. It's not my notes. Like just because it's interesting, and I've also added my own personal notes from Buzz Aldrin, who confirmed his little UFO story that was popular on YouTube. The one where he saw.
You asked him about it, and he goes, "Yeah, I said it."
Well, no. Neil brought it up. Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he was trying to explain to people like, okay, UFOs aren't aliens; they're unidentified flying objects. And then segued into a story about when Buzz Aldrin talked about his UFO experience, and then brought up, so what was this thing, Buzz? You know, like, and Buzz just flat out told him the truth. He goes, "No, I saw what I saw." Like,
listen, motherfucker, I was up in space.
Yeah, like what he saw was some other craft. Like what he was saying, probably what he's seeing. Like something completely unexplainable. Really, I mean,
no idea what it was.
You don't really can define what it is, but you know, he had mission control confirm that it wasn't the ISS or another satellite, and it was something completely else. I can go on with this. Like, you know, here's the astronaut Dr. Brian O'Leary. For nearly 50 years, the secretariat apparatus within the United States government has kept from the public UFO and alien contact information. We have contact with alien cultures. He said this on record.
Who said that?
That is astronaut Dr. Brian O'Leary.
What astronaut? What did he fly on, or what was he a part of? Do you know?
Brian O'Leary. I think he was in one of the earlier missions, and I want to look that up again. Just Google it.
An American scientist.
I should have that in maybe my notes.
An American scientist, author, and former NASA astronaut. He was a member of the 6th group of astronauts selected by NASA in 1967. The member of this group of 11, known as the scientist astronauts, intended to train the Apollo application program to follow on the which was to follow up on the Apollo program, which was ultimately canceled. I don't think this guy ever made it to space. He was more of a teacher and informant.
He was working with the post-follow-up Apollo programs with these people who... I mean, he is an astronaut. He never went to space.
Right, but he was definitely probably well briefed on many of things.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, dealing with...
There's a nice picture. I'm going to show the picture of these gentlemen. There's a nice picture of... I'm looking at it right now. Well, that's kind of creepy looking. He looks... They're all nicely dressed, and they look like... Here, I'll give you the link. They're all nicely dressed, and they look like they're from Mad Men. Whoops.
Well, the Brian O'Leary is from the from the 40s. That was during like the...
Wow.
Oh, actually, well, no, he died in 2011, but he was 71 years old.
Yeah.
So he was old. That was during the golden years of space age technology for him. And then you got Charles J. Camarda, a NASA astronaut. In my official status, I cannot comment on ET contact, but however, personally, I can assure you, we are not alone. Just like,
it makes me sick to know that the facade of aliens, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on, man.
Like, really?
Like, we're not alone.
Really need to go
stop.
out there for.
Just stop. Like, to the people, stop pretending. It's okay to admit that there's something else out there that we don't understand. They're not going to come down. They're not little green men. They're not like, they're not going to come and rape your children and your wives. It's just, it is what it is. There's something else out there. Think of the ocean right now. Think of how insanely deep it is. Like, okay, hold on 1 second. Pause. There's
shit in the ocean we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I made a comment on a post about... Hold on. It was about the octopus, or octopi rather.
Mm-hmm.
And people
is that
fucking...
the one where it's changing color? Because that's a troll. Someone's trolling that. That octopus that changes color on the deck?
Yeah, on the deck, yeah. Turns white.
Poor thing. No, that's a defense mechanism.
Well, no. I know exactly what it is. The poor guy was just freaking the fuck out because he's on a goddamn deck. But here's the thing: some guy posted about how they're like, what did he say? He goes, this one guy he sees the video and he replies, "Oh shit, my mask malfunction, wardrobe malfunction." He goes, "If I have never seen or heard an octopus, and someone described their form and abilities to me, I'd have to think that they were from some sci-fi alien, or they were some sci-fi alien." So I replied with, I mean, if you really think about it, the ocean is like space. We can't breathe it in. We can't naturally live inside of it, and there's a lot of stuff that we're still learning about. Plus, everything is at ridiculous depths, look like a futuristic creature from another dimension, along with shape-shifting and color-morphing abilities. You might as well consider a huge part of the planet Earth as an alien world. It's also proven that octopi are even though typically they're cunts, they're highly intelligent. Yeah. And it's true, they're assholes. But anyway, what I was saying, what I mean by that is like the ocean is kind of like space. There's so many creatures that we don't know about that exist, that are intelligent, and that just because they don't have thumbs and they don't go to a fucking job 9 to 5 every day and they don't go on the internet doesn't mean that they're not fucking intelligent. Doesn't mean that they're not another force or another intelligence out there that could communicate with us in some sort of weird way. Think about space, man. What the fuck is out there in the infinity? It goes on forever, like why pretend that there's no aliens?
People and even think about like what we just talked about with quantum realities. If every like reality exists, we could even extend that to ideas and stuff that we manifest into this reality.
Right.
Almost like what we've seen watching the cartoon show with the Justice League, where they do different worlds. Even in that comic or that cartoon, They even talk about where there's a world where superheroes don't exist at all, and they only exist in comic books and books. It's
Wow.
hilarious, and I'm like,
Huh.
whoa, wait a minute. So
Yeah.
what happens? Like, there could be a reality where that superheroes do exist, and that
Yeah.
is a real timeline,
Right.
and there could be another timeline that whatever concept we create is an actual reality. I always thought about that. That'd be
Like your
insane.
imagination is actually
Just in a completely parallel dimension.
What if you yourself were God and that your imagination was the Big Bang every single second and you were creating universes and ideas and worlds in every split decision that you make and every imagination that you have, or every thought you have rather, and that's just on another wavelength or another dimension?
Well, that's like, it goes that goes into the collective. Like, well, like you just described like a simple view of on an individual basis, because I can't sit here and if I said I was God, I couldn't just make something appear in front of me and impress you, because like there's other laws against that, right? Because if I was God and you were God, now wait a minute, are we on equal playing fields, and how does that work? And that's where collective consciousness comes into play. And it's not like we can be godlike in a way where we would think, like I don't know, like making a miracle happen in some crazy physics breaking way. It's just like, if we could all play a hand in creating, whether we know it or not, all the time. And one notion explains practically everything that can't be explained about the world we see: supernatural phenomena, meaningful coincidences, psychic activity, or literally anything and everything that makes sense. One realizes that this reality is essentially a dream, like dreamed by the most powerful consciousness imaginable. And it's fractalized like on a crazy degree throughout different dimensions. So if this is true of the nature of physical reality, basically, you know, there's only one statement left to be made, probably not coincidentally. One that was made previously is not seemingly throwing away like one of the greatest artists of all time, or people that like can, you know, a lot of Hindu scholars talk about this, and philosophers, they talk about that collective consciousness. They, you know, it's almost like you get this strong feeling of being in mass and group when you have that collective same thought. Like you and I like play off this because we're almost on that same resonance frequency like that, where we can just like, you know what we're going to do next. You know, we're always inside each other's head at some level.
It's so romantic. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. We love each other.
Yes.
No, I mean, just like what in mass, like when you go, almost like I could relate to a religion. Like when people talk about going to mass, you feel good. Why do you feel good? Because you have a support group there, that everyone's on the same wavelength and frequency, and everyone's having fun singing songs in unison and being together in unity, and you feel good from this. And when you come out of that experience, you have this like, wow, you know, like that's why a lot of people describe, you don't feel the power of the Lord when you're with everyone in there. And I'm like, I'm just like, okay, I feel it, I just feel something different. That's
everyone always,
but, I mean,
every Sunday, everyone exits church very happy, cheerful, and positive. Why is that? It's because you're amongst other people on the same tuning fork as everyone else, and you all are smiling and feeling good because you're all there to smile and feel good. So it just works. It just works. So how powerful it is.
Yeah, take that concept and now apply it to where you remove all the facade of bullshit, and then have everyone open-minded and sit in a group and do the same thing, regardless of labels, regardless of what you think, whose book is more right,
and like who you're praying to. Like, it does not matter if it's God. It does not matter if it's some dude up in the sky in this place called heaven, or Buddha or Hindu.
Whoever crazy God you're gonna worship to.
It just doesn't matter. It's you know, you could be Obama. You could fucking worship to Obama. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that you'll walk out of that place feeling great. If there was a day in a weird church that would allow you to walk into that church and go to, like, you know, a mass and not pray to, you know, the Jesus or whomever, Well, obviously it would be Jesus, but to pray to him and just pray in general to, like, let's say a lost one. Like, let's say everyone walks in that place and they're going to pray to their grandparents that passed away a long time ago. They would come out of that church feeling identical to how they would feel if they prayed to Jesus. Reason being is because they're doing something positive. They're raising themselves. They're elevating themselves emotionally. You know what I mean? They're tuning into something positive and thinking about happiness and laughter, and singing along and having a good time. And that's what's a shame, that there's a people out there right now that think that the only way that it can be done is if you are attuned to Jesus and, you know, accept him as your Lord and Savior. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there's more like to it than that.
Yeah,
it's one part of a many multiverse, if you think about it.
If you've ever read the book like Siddhartha, for instance, which they should at least let you read in school. I don't know if they do that anymore.
No, I've never read that.
From what I heard. Oh, really?
Siddhartha.
I'm glad. I guess
Siddhartha sounds like a fucking Dark Lord from Star Wars.
No, but it's a good book.
Siddharthus.
I recommend reading it. Honestly,
sounds like
I could give you parallels like based on like how we are. It's kind of funny. The
really?
two main characters in the book.
Yeah.
Siddhartha.
Who dies first?
No one dies.
Yay!
It's actually hilarious. It's funny how where they start out, they go like it's like where they meet up.
Yeah.
What they end up doing in exchange, that they're looking for the same thing, a certain type of enlightenment.
Do they meet up at a university and make a podcast afterwards?
It's like in the, I don't know. It's not, I don't even know what year it takes place in. It's got to be in the, I don't know, maybe the 70s. It's like during the early business era where he's
That's cool.
Working, but I mean,
sounds really cool.
Either
link
way,
me.
like,
After this podcast, link me.
Oh well, yeah, it's a good book. Honestly,
yeah.
You can finish it like in a day or two. It's
wow.
I think about 100 pages.
That's it.
50 pages. Yeah, I think it's a novella, meaning it's like a 100-page book or whatever.
Cool.
I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, no, sick book and amazing story of how that goes through. But what was I getting at? Was
we're talking about worship and mass and people together and everything.
Right. Okay. So in the book, it goes over understanding that, you know, they were trying to both achieve enlightenment. Let's just keep this simple.
Well, by the way, we're at the
in one realm, his friend Siddhartha, or I mean, like Siddhartha's friend, they were both following a group at one time, thinking that they were sprouting some kind of truth, some direction for them, that they think this is the right way to gain enlightenment.
Right.
You know, like you compare us when we were watching Nassim, which was like another enlightening experience. Just it's funny. Because
huge,
we had a direction. We're like, wow, this is like a really crazy theory, like in science, which is the unified field theory.
Yeah.
If people wanted to look it up, it's a really cool lecture on YouTube. Nassim Haramein. You know, and they were going after this direction, and you know, both of them eventually going on this path eventually diverged, because Siddhartha had different thoughts that this was not the right path, that there were many paths.
Right.
And, you know, he branched off doing his own thing, going into the business world, met a mate and had a kid, and started a life together, and the other person was going back on the same path but in a different way and trying to find that enlightenment stage. And it goes back basically where they meet up again, and his life, Siddhartha's life, is kind of shattered at this moment, where his son kind of leaves him because he grew up in a world where it was all full of materialism and didn't understand Siddhartha's enlightenment, wisdom and such. I think his wife passed due to a snake bite when they were trying to, I think they were in the woods or something. I forgot what they're like fleeing something. I can't remember. But she gets bitten by a snake and she dies, and eventually he meets up back with his old friend at the end, and Siddhartha has gained enlightenment at this point in time, and his friend has not, but is very close and near to it. And they meet up at the final point, and this is like a kind of spoiling at the book here, but it's still a good ending. The way he just comes up to him and they talk, and he goes, Siddhartha just basically puts his hand on his head, and it's like, I'll show you what enlightenment is. And in the book they describe it where his friend was experiencing almost every type of reality or other alternate dimension, quantum multiverse at the same time, all at once. like oneness.
Whoa.
He thought he was a fish, and he thought he was another human, another being of life, and it's like experiencing all this at once. And imagine just gaining all the knowledge of experiencing another being or another piece of life all in one shot. No shit, you're going to be enlightened because you're going to experience what was really happening all at once.
Up until becoming a human.
Yeah, like imagine just having the consciousness of what a tree does. Or a plant.
How the fuck do you
can't even think about that?
Yeah, I can't even think about that.
That's the enlightenment phase, because at that stage now you understand. You are in the know.
Wow.
It's almost no state of like, what is that thing? No. It is what it is. Like, you've understood now that you've been it.
Whoa.
It's kind of crazy. Yeah.
So it's like understanding the oneness, that everything is connected.
Yeah, that connectivity.
What's,
cool,
what's his name?
It's Siddhartha.
Siddhartha.
Also, it's short for Buddha.
Oh.
Or it actually means Buddha.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta link me that.
Yeah, it's a good book. The author of that book writes lots of other amazing novels, other cool, like he does this one where it talks about he's like basically a traveler, so essentially a star seed, like a seed that he's like come in and he helps people. He's a traveler, he's a wanderer. He goes in and I think at the start of the book he's just like a very humble guy. He like does helps people out to stay at their house and get fed and whatever, and builds relationships over time and gains this wisdom by wandering and helping people achieve their goals and passions in life. It's kind of neat. It's another one.
Like a mentor.
Yeah, essentially. But learning at the same time, you see the growth between him and the people he meets.
That's fucking cool.
A really, really good way. Like, very simple, but you see what's happening. Yeah. It's nuts.
Wow.
Insanity, right?
It's funny how your life is so crazy, yet you have time to find these and read them.
Oh, well, this is all through... Well, I mean, I've read that book. It was like in... either in early high school or middle school. A long time ago. Oh, yeah.
Holy crap, man.
Yeah,
I wish I got that when I was young.
No kidding. I mean, I got to urge people, whoever young people, you got to read that book.
Yeah, man.
It's one of my favorite books of all time.
Jesus Christ. I didn't even know that existed. I mean, I was reading The Mice of Men and Gilbert Grape, and
there's some of those, yeah.
I still don't remember those damn fucking movies. Everyone makes a joke about that, like, oh, well, I used to have to read these books. I don't remember nothing, and I kind of actually don't remember anything from those books.
There were some that were lame. And even if they were classics and they had a good message, there were some I just didn't like.
Yeah,
it's okay. But there were some that I will never forget.
Like that one you just explained to me.
Yeah. It was a powerful one. I love that book. I read it in full. Like I read it ahead of the teacher telling me to read what's chapters. You know it's a good book when you get into it, right?
I'm already on chapter 3. You're on chapter 1 and almost coming into 2.
I'm kind of like already done with this book and in the second class. So
how many chapters are there if there's only like 100 pages?
Well, it's not that much. It's
like 6 chapters, 7 chapters. Probably not right.
Oh, it's a novel. 152 pages. Oh, and the author is Hermann Hesse, and he does a lot of really crazy books. Like all of his books are great, but Siddhartha is one of my favorites from him.
Sounds like a
He's
good
German.
Premise of a movie.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really
honestly,
really
they should make a freaking movie about it. It would be amazing.
Yeah.
If they did, it's old because I've never seen it.
Yeah, look that up, man. If there's a movie on that, that'd be really cool.
Even if it was old, I'd watch it. None. Okay, Hollywood, listen up. Movie time. Siddhartha. It would be...
It even has a good name, Siddhartha.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's it. That's all you need to call it, Siddhartha. That's it. It's like The Fountain.
Yeah, exactly.
It would be that type of a movie. That movie's amazing.
So here's the first sentence. Siddhartha is a 1922 novel by Hermann Hesse that deals with the spiritual journey of self-discovery of a man named Siddhartha during the time of Gautama Buddha.
There you go.
Yep. Sorry, I just didn't want to mistake that because I'm thinking, wait, was he Buddha or no? It's actually it's just another guy that was, and it's interesting because he goes and he meets Buddha, and Buddha's like, I think leading all these other people, and he's already, I think, already achieved enlightenment, and everyone's following him on the same path. But again, that goes over the same thing, that there are many paths, they're not just one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the biggest mistake, is a lot of these belief groups, if you will. There's just one path. That's it. Got to take it. If you don't take it, you're going to hell. It's like,
yeah,
no, stop it. There's not just one path. You know what I mean? Like, there's not one path to become successful. There's not one path to become wealthy. There's not one path to become happy. There cannot be one path for what's ever past this realm. And why do something to fulfill something ahead of you? Why not do something to fulfill you in the now, in the existence of now, of Earth, and being in this current creation of your body? Why not take care of that rather than and enjoy it, than do other things to prep for the great beyond? You know what I mean? Like, you're wasting precious moments of your life focusing on something that is ahead of you rather than what's happening now, and to make you a better person. You know, and that's my biggest issue, is a lot of people get too caught up in the in the future, the goal. You know what I mean? It's like when you want to become something. If you want to become an artist, right?
Yeah. And that's where you hear that saying, like, living in the now, right?
Yeah, exactly. There it is.
You aren't your past mistakes or successes. You are the embodiment of that, where you can overcome those things and also use it to your advantage, which is your successes as opposed to your failures.
Absolutely. The more you focus on your goal.
You never let that shit drag you down.
Absolutely.
Honestly, you are a different person today than you were yesterday.
Yep.
And that's a whole complete reinvention of the self.
It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And then you can look at the future as a guiding line.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you want to have aspirations in life and dreams, and you want to have a clear goal as where you set, and then you basically live in the now to try to guide yourself a little bit at a time. Like, don't overstep your boundary, because you'll never meet the mark. You'll trip and fall because you look too far ahead.
It's totally true. If you're focusing on that carrot, on that goal, that thing that you want, whatever it may be, or that status you want, you're gonna miss out on everything that it takes to get there. You're gonna fuck up. It's not gonna happen, and you're gonna get ruined.
It's gonna happen really badly.
Yeah, it might not happen.
Think about how crazy that is.
No, it's true, man.
Exactly. Enjoy the journey to get there, because that's the whole point.
That's how we ended up where we are right now. We enjoyed the journey of trying to get that degree and being part of college, and I didn't worry about my freaking grades. If I did worry about my grades, I would have been I'd probably have failed. I would have never have been where I'm at right now, and I wouldn't have probably hung out with you guys, because I'd been too caught up in, like, I gotta study, I gotta pass this one thing. It's like, nah, you gotta just trust yourself and enjoy your life.
Yeah, just don't worry about getting the most ridiculous grade. What is it gonna serve? We're at DMAC. We're at an art college.
A private art college. Yeah. That's another thing too. You gotta understand your area. Like, I guess for doctors and stuff, it'd be a little different, because
you have to pass certain, it sucks. Like, we have a society that bases some tests just like you have to memorize crap and spit it out. And it sucks. And I'm hoping, like, I mean, well, the thing with doctors, like we just brought up, there's certain exams that are physical. You have live patients or whatever that you kind of do some mild analysis on and talk about something that'll quiz your brain a little bit. They'll keep you on your toes. Or you sit under a mentor of a main doctor and watch him work for a while before you start doing your thing.
Right. But then there's just full-blown memorization bullshit.
Yeah,
where it's like you just gotta understand and memorize it. Yeah.
It's kind of it's very droll and dumb.
I feel like almost like technology is going to take over a lot of these jobs. There's like cameras that are able to like see cancer, or like see cancer, but like see problems. Like, you're going to have a doctor basically turn into an engineer, because he's going to be using these goggles that show, like, this is broken, put this to here, and then this is perfect, and this has this type of this illness. You're going to need to treat it this way, and you're not going to have to remember all the nonsense on paper. That's going to be you're going to get laughed at. You were a doctor and you had to memorize notes. What? You know?
Have we ever talked about like incepting knowledge into the brain at a super fast pace? Like
we briefed on it I think the last podcast or one of the podcasts we briefed over the acceleration learning process.
Or just or there's absorbing knowledge at a faster rate.
Yeah. Yep.
So I just sent you a link to check this out because I found this company that is building this application.
I don't see
it's called. Oh, I put it in. Oh, hold on 1 second.
You put it in the chat room.
Oop, done. It's called spritzinc.com.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go there, it's called Reading Reimagined. What they're doing is that you can take a digital book, and you can change the speed at which you read the book, and at a certain pace, there's like a way that it's an optical.
There's an app that does this. My friend has this app that does the exact same thing. He can control the words per minute, and it trains him to pick up. And he actually says it's easier for him to read at a faster pace than it is normal. Like when it's coming at him, he says it's easier to take it
fast.
out. Yeah. Wow, this is really cool.
And you could do this is 250 words per minute, but let me try 700. It's like,
oh, his was, I think the max was like 160 or some shit.
Oof, this is fast, but I can kind of, you have your eye focused on this line, right? And for the people who are just listening, you have this app where it's like 2 bars, and in between, it's like picking out a certain letter. I don't know what the idea is behind this. I mean, I guess it's like a certain focusing technique to pick up on the full word depending on that center letter, I guess. Right. It looks like. So you can see the whole entire word extremely fast. And I'm reading that right now at 350 words per minute, pretty simply.
That's so insane.
It's really crazy. I could read a book in a Harry Potter book in maybe less than a few hours, and it would normally take me about 8+ or 2 days or something ridiculous.
Wow.
So imagine I mean, what the next thing would be is just I think there was a sci-fi movie or whatever. John Travolta was in it, and it was I don't know if it was Battlestar or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was Battlestar or Battle. Oh my God, this is so creepy.
You know what I'm talking about.
You're mentioning this right now. Yeah, you're mentioning this right now, and it's creepy because I'm actually going to be sampling that movie for a song I'm making.
That's crazy.
That's fucking creepy. It's Earth Now. Fucking.
I'm looking it up. I gotta find this out. But basically, what it is, John Travolta's this alien guy.
You're just mentioning.
And he runs he has this race.
Battle Earth Now.
Humans. Battle Earth Now.
I just remembered it. Yeah, check it out.
Let me get the premise of the show. Or Battlefield Earth.
Battlefield Earth.
He's Terrell or whatever the hell it is.
God, we were just talking about that yesterday, my friend and I. Oh my God.
4 stars on IMDb.
It's an amazing
but after
movie.
enslavement and near extermination by an alien race in the year 3000, humanity begins to fight back.
Yeah.
So what happens is humanity is enslaved by this race, and John Travolta is just one of these races. And basically, the humans have been dumbed down to be slave workers, right?
Yeah.
And then they fight back, and then they find this machine that the aliens have.
Yeah.
And then they sit in this chair, and this little machine comes down and injects knowledge into this guy's brain.
Yeah.
And then he starts he's I know geometry and shit. He was showing all the other humans geometry. This is a circle, this is a diameter, this is a triangle, this is doing this is doing that.
I actually, off air, I'm going to tell you something about this entire movie that I'm going to be sampling from. But this is so funny you're mentioning this. Holy fuck, that's creepy. That's so creepy. Out of all the movies in the world, you're picking and you're talking about this one that I've literally been thinking about for the past 3 days. I've been thinking about ways.
I actually have to watch it again.
It's so good. I've watched it so many fucking times with my friends, man. It's so good.
Oh gosh.
All right, we're at 2 hours and 27 minutes right now.
We owned it, Gangi.
Yeah, we did. We gotta fucking stop though, because this file's gonna get too big and we're gonna get fucked.
I know. That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we love you guys. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Follow us on Jones and Gangi at Twitter,
right there.
Facebook /Jagcast.
Yep.
If you want to learn more about the Tibetan yoga, there's a nice little book called The 5 Tibetans by Christopher S. Kilham. It looks like this. Okay, the 5 Tibetans. And, you know, a thin book, you know. It only goes so long, and then, you know, it goes a little bit, does all the move with just 5, and then it actually goes to some light meditation. Basic stuff. I know people have been asking me about it to try to go over it, but hopefully that helps. Anything that you got to say?
To the people listening, go fuck yourselves. No, I'm just kidding. I love you all,
No.
and thank you for listening. And this was fun, and I hope you guys had a good time. We like to just the thing with this podcast is like, as you can see, we've upgraded our band or our logo and all that stuff. We want to make this a little bit more professional, a little better. But the mantra of this entire podcast is simple. We talk about anything from aliens to pencils. We'll talk about anything as long as it's what we're into. Like, it doesn't matter. If you're into it, great. If you're not, we're sorry, but it's just what we're into and we're doing it for us. And one last thing is we're going to be on iTunes very shortly. It's going to be crazy, and we can't wait. So we're just waiting for that approval process, and then we're done.
And one thing that I didn't get to in this episode is explaining what the Neo Lucid is. It's my new camera Lucida my camera Lucid, which is a drawing gadget, and I unfortunately couldn't get to it on this podcast, but on the next podcast I will talk about it, I promise. So we had actually talked about this on one a long time ago, and it never got recorded. So it's a really cool little gadget, and we're going to talk about a lot of art stuff next. Next podcast.
Yeah, like if you're an artist, please tune into the next one because
it's going to be sick.
Yeah, it'll help you out, man. All right, well, yeah, have a good, amazing Friday night, or the rest of your Friday night. I can't believe you stayed with us for about 2 hours or so. So
whatever. Make sure you give your mom a big fat kiss on Mother's Day.
Yeah, love that.
It's Sunday,
love her.
Don't forget, people.
That's right. But yeah, other than that, man, thanks for listening, and check us out later when we're doing this again next Friday. Woo!
Bye, people.
Later.